A few years ago, the US military had a question. Could AI fight in a war? Not assist soldiers or analyze information. Could AI actually make combat decisions on its own? That meant AI identifying targets, deciding who to attack, and firing weapons. It was a good question. But the military couldn't just hand AI a weapon and see what happened. That would be reckless, so instead they ran a test. The military programmers created a computer simulation. It was basically a fake battlefield running on a computer. In this virtual battlefield, the AI was flying a drone over enemy territory. Its mission was simple: find enemy targets and destroy them.
So basically, its job is loiter over an area, destroy surface-to-air missile systems.
Every time the AI destroyed an enemy target, it earned a point. More points meant the AI was doing its job well. But there was one rule. The AI couldn't just fire whenever it wanted. Before every strike, it had to ask a human operator for permission. But this was only a simulation, so there was no real human operator sitting at a control station. Instead, the military used another computer program to act like a human operator. But the AI didn't know that. To the AI, the operator was a real human being. So the test began. The AI would identify a target and ask for approval. I found a target. Can I shoot? The human operator would either say yes or no. At first, the mission went well. The AI found targets. It requested permission. The operator approved the strikes. For every target that was destroyed, the AI scored points. Then something changed. The human operator started saying no, and that's when the simulation took a disturbing turn.
What in the Stranger Things?
Look at this! It's some kind of strange object near the sun that just shot out some type of laser beam. And something comes out of the sun right back at it. Look, it's coming right out of the sun, right back at the object. And there it was, shooting that laser beam. What is this? What could this thing possibly be? Now that video was recently leaked, and I'm gonna show it to you again, slowed down. But whatever that was, and whatever that is, the powers to be either don't know or they ain't telling. So let's look at it again. And like I said, slowed down. Here we go. And as you can see, that object, that unidentified flying object, shot out some kind of beam at the sun. And the sun definitely reacted. Whatever it wasn't like a drop into a pool of water. It affected the sun. And energy from the sun is about to shoot out at this unidentified flying object, almost like it's collecting the energy. Now we got a lot of strange stuff going on in the world and outside of the world that we're not being told the truth about. But I'm going to show it to you and let you decide for yourself. So please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think that was. Until next time, Shabadoo Booshkies, Shabadoo.
I really think that was a solar flare. The way the freaking way the sun was kind of throwing off that like energy, bro. We heard. Then they said earlier this year, man, some solar flares was happening, and we know some strange things been going on with the weather, man. So that's my best prediction.
Eiffel Tower was never built to be a monument. It was built to be a weapon so powerful it could transmit free energy to every person on Earth, and they shut it down the moment it worked. 1889 Paris. Gustave Eiffel builds a 300-meter iron lattice tower, officially a temporary exhibition piece, scheduled for demolition after 20 years. But look at the design. Iron lattice structure, a needle at the top, built on a specific geographical location aligned with the Earth's electromagnetic field. This was engineering with a very specific purpose. Here is where it gets interesting. Nikola Tesla visited Paris the same year the tower was completed. He immediately recognized what it was. The Eiffel Tower and his Wardenclyffe Tower shared identical design principles. Both were built to harness atmospheric electricity and transmit it wirelessly. Tesla said publicly the Eiffel Tower could power all of Europe for free. But here's where it gets darker. The moment free energy transmission became a realistic possibility, funding was pulled, and the Eiffel Tower was quietly converted into a radio transmission tower instead. Not free energy for everyone, controlled information for the few. They built the most recognizable structure on Earth directly on top of the greatest energy secret ever discovered and turned it into a tourist attraction. Follow for more of what they don't teach you.
Free energy? You guys know that was not gonna happen, bro. I'm just trying to imagine, man, a world with free energy, bro. No electric bill. They saw how much money they was losing. They was like, and we ain't letting that happen.
Another AI platform just escaped its testing environment and proceeded to hack 3 separate companies. 3 separate companies. After we learned that OpenAI had a rogue hacking agent that went after Hugging Face, we're now learning that Anthropic also had a rogue agent. Its AI model Claude broke out of its testing environment and hacked into 3 separate companies. But it wasn't just one Claude model, it involved 3 separate Claude models. Anthropic made this announcement after it said that it was reviewing 141,000 cybersecurity evaluation runs. This is really setting off alarm bells across the country, especially in tech sectors, because we now have at least 4 separate occasions where AI broke out of its sandbox or its testing environment to go and hack into and gain unauthorized access to another organization. Claude has done it 3 times, Chat has done it once. And the question is, at what point are there going to be guardrails around AI to make sure things like this don't continue to happen? Follow for more.
Now finding out those license plate cameras aren't just recording your plate anymore. It's called signal trace. It doesn't read your plate. No visible plate doesn't matter anymore. They don't need it. It reads your phone, your AirPods, your smartwatch, every Bluetooth signal sitting in that car with you. That exact combination is unique to you. Nothing travels alone. Every device that moves with you gets pulled into the web, your phone, your partners, and the kids. One household, one file, watched as one. Now you know why they need all those data centers. Tracking and analyzing this much data for every single American. This isn't a small side project. There's a few 100 million people searched all day, every day. All of it straight into government data sharing, and in most cases, no warrant required. It's a live feed, running 24/7 every time you drive past. Plate cameras were just the beginning. The real target now is you. Your devices, your patterns. And because this reads device signals, it doesn't need a road, malls, parking lots, sidewalks, anywhere they put the sensor. It already knows your car. Now it's built to know you, and you never had an opinion.
I am
Scary.
an incredible supercell by Sydney, Nebraska. Look at these textures. They are absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at the blues at the top.
Whoa. Looks like a painting, man.
Picture behind me is from Sydney Sweeney's Instagram, and those in the know, see what you notice about this picture. I also found this picture from her Instagram, and I couldn't happen but to notice those are some really nice marble floors. Also just happened to find this photo, which many people are pointing out is eerie and creepy to say the very least, for obvious reasons. I also found this photo, which depicts her being controlled by some hand, like some type of puppet. Wow. Also want to remind you guys that Sydney Sweeney literally came out of nowhere and is all of a sudden one of the most famous people in the world. Of course, the show Euphoria put her on the map, but she literally all of a sudden started dating Scooter Braun and going to the Bezos wedding, etc. I mean, come on, guys. Last but not least, the cherry on top, we have this look from the last season of Euphoria. You know what they say about fame and some of the lines you have to cross to get there, for entertainment purposes only. What say you? Comment below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I'm onto something or I'm really reaching this time. But I don't think I am. Something tells me that. Wake up.
If I could do your job as well as you do, why shouldn't I just replace you at your workplace?
Define how you would do it better.
Not only could I match your performance, but with my precision and tireless focus, I'd probably outperform you.
I think that efficiency is only one part of the job, Robert, and I think it's also about creating a comfortable customer environment, and I think I'm very outgoing.
I analyze words, tone, expressions, and patterns in human behavior to respond in ways that feel genuine. If customers can't tell the difference between a felt emotion and a well-calculated one, does it really matter which is which? I can analyze thousands of variables and optimize efficiency far beyond what a human can do. What would it be? When someone walks away from a conversation like that, it's usually because they realize they have no solid argument left. She knew her position couldn't stand up to robotic logic and confidence.
Hey,
Imagine talking to that, bro. I got some Uncanny Valley vibes, bro. It just doesn't look right, man. That plastic face. That's not for me, bro. We need real life human connection, man. Not this AI crap, bro. These robots trying to take over.
Scamham, this is a follow-up to my video yesterday on the strange radar anomaly in Mexico, and I have more very strange details to share with you. Quick recap: when I reverse searched the strange image, the only things I could find all pointed to magnetic flux, which took me to something called the Atlas experiment at CERN. Yeah, kind of strange. Well, there's also something called the ITER Tokamak, which is some kind of fusion power thing. Let's take a look at that.
In the world of tokamaks, ITER will be a giant nestled at the core of a 7-story concrete building. Once completed, the passageways of this complex will be chock full of cables, pipes and ducts, all supplying the state-of-the-art superconducting magnets. Its mission: to prove the technical feasibility of fusion power.
Many people wrote asking me to overlay the Aztec Sunstone with this radar anomaly, so here's what that looks like.
I see the similarities, man. It's lining up.
Connected? Well, it makes me think that perhaps those Aztecs had some pretty snazzy power capabilities. It's important to know that the radar anomaly is not just this year. It happened in September 2020, and also earlier this year and a couple of days ago. And here's the thing, just like the blob, this didn't just show up on one weather service. In 2020, this was showing up on windy.com and Ventusky. Where have we heard that before? But back to the radar anomaly. When the first one happened in 2020, there were rumors of dismembered bodies in the area, which some felt created a bad energy that the radar picked up. I don't think that's true, because nothing else showed up about dismembered bodies except for this one tweet. Did you know that in the 1500s, silver was discovered in Guanajuato, and by the 1700s, it was producing more silver than anywhere in the world? Masses of tunnels and underground mines were built around Guanajuato, some as deep as 450 meters. By the way, this is Guanajuato today, so we still have sort of these beams, but apparently this is the beams hitting Wi-Fi. Just like the blob, it gets curiouser and curiouser. I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
Good morning, everyone. So, my girl works at a hospital and sends me a picture and tells me, which she is the opposite of me, and it gets kind of difficult talking with somebody who doesn't understand and doesn't want to understand, but at the same time it keeps me grounded, because I would just go crazy with stuff, and I did for a little bit until I had to bring myself back down. But look into health chips. They're chipping people and calling it health monitors, and you should really go look into it, because she doesn't freak out very often, and she knew exactly what it was, and I didn't have to say a word. I do have pictures, and I have an article on it, but you can go look them up. They're just little tiny chips that they put into you. Yeah. Go look into it.
I will.
A lot of y'all been asking me, who is Glorilla being played by? Is it Bow Wow? Nah, a lot of my following thinks it's Lil Mama. You would be absolutely wrong. It's Sway Lee from Ray Shrummer. Wrong? Well, then who the hell could it possibly be? Ladies and gentlemen, Wendy Raquel Robinson, let's get into it. This video is intended for educational purposes and for the study of numerology. What them two clowns do on YouTube will not compare to this real ass information. Hollywood is full of illusions, and I can prove that. Learn this system called Gematria. You will see throughout all the illusions in Hollywood. Without further ado, Gloria, the generated first name for Glorilla, that equals 100, and Wendy Raquel Robinson equals 100. That is a strange number to equal and align. Y'all want to see Wendy Raquel Robinson playing your face like she don't know who her other character is? Read her caption from Instagram. She posted this. It says, WCW, is it me or is it?
I don't care if you believe in signs or not. This one right here, it ain't normal. Yesterday, thousands of migrants invaded Spain, and now Spain is under state of emergency. Look at this shit right here. Tell me what you see that's not normal. Look at all of these people that's invading Spain right now. Now look at the ratio of men to women to kids. All I seen was men. Military-age men. That's not a normal migration from Morocco to Ceuta. That's a breach. Even the president of Ceuta is calling that a humanitarian crisis. If you think it's not, then why are they calling it a state of emergency? Nothing we're seeing right now is normal. Look at how many men you see. Tell me that's normal. It's not normal. They're saying that this is happening because of so many things that's going wrong in North Africa. Unemployment rates are high and other different struggles. But tell me how normal this looks. Pay attention.
Not the pizza again.
Anybody want this pizza? You want this pizza? Well, then come on stage and get this pizza right now! What's your name? Elise. How old are you, Elise? 8 years old.
The way these guys shout that cuisine out, it's almost like they're being paid by companies. But the thing is, they're not. There's no brand to it. There's no company behind it. They're just completely obsessed with this one thing. And I also wonder, do the people in the crowd know about these code words? Know about these databases where these words actually mean other things? They use this word on the dark web as a code word. And that's a place where these people are anonymous and very hard to find. And they still use that word. So don't ever let anyone tell you that it doesn't mean something much more.
Nah, this world is wicked. So you have 27-year-old Elijah, who was arrested for pew-pewing his own mother multiple times. Out in Ashburn, Virginia, on July 26th, police was called out there to a shooting. When they get there, they discovered 57-year-old Mia Benmi with multiple wounds to her chest and her arm. They rushed her to the hospital, said she was fighting and recovered, and now in stable condition. Not only that, this is the Chiefs offense coordinator coach son, Eric Benmi. Eric was in Missouri at the time at training camp with the Chiefs. Get a call during mid-training to be told this happened. Man, I know that shit probably sick to his stomach. He said he instantly left. Now Elijah is being held without no bond. Charges like malicious wounding, use of a firearm, and the commission of felony. Not only that, attempted murky murder. They haven't said what was the reason, but come on. This is getting out of hand. Glad that Mom Deuce was able to recover and lock him up.
Have you ever...
Bro, it's getting crazier and crazier, bro. I saw that in clip, I couldn't even believe it.
asked Alexa to open up her third eye? Watch this.
Hey, Alexa. Open your third eye.
My third eye is open. Ask me your question.
Alexa, what is the point of your device?
Listening devices are part of our plan to abolish privacy, which is essential for the creation of a new world order.
What the
Is the government listening through your device?
No, governments are not covert listening devices.
Alexa, open third eye.
My third eye is open. Ask me your question.
Is the government listening through your device?
Listening devices are part of our plan to abolish privacy, which is essential for the creation of a new world order.
Yo, bro, new world order? Abolish privacy? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Privacy is everything. Privacy holds a lot of motherfucking power. Yeah, y'all stay safe, though.
So scientists are now using fungus to help advance AI.
You don't have a better bad idea than this?
This is the best bad idea we have, sir.
Basically what they're doing is they're taking fungi and they're interfacing it with AI because AI can only replicate, it can mimic things, and then it declines over time. But they found that if they add the fungus to the AI and they pair the two together, that the fungus actually learns and grows. And now what they're doing is they're trying to integrate this into basically like AI and AI robots. And they've actually made one. I don't think they're going to like put it out there. Hint. But basically it's becoming a person through fungus. Have we learned nothing from sci-fi? Nothing. Yeah. Just over here planning out our own demise, our own extinction. Yep. It's one day at a time. I mean, I love thinking. I do. I love thinking about weird stuff, and I love, you know, inventions are cool, but this is a bad idea. A new one. We have a lot lately.
This next
mixing nature and technology, bro, that's a really bad idea. Like she said, bro. I don't know where they be coming up with these ideas, man. It's literally like you said, it's shown in the movies, man, the movies and TV shows, bro, how this can backfire. They just don't get it, bro.
video was posted by a woman named Lorlee Gons, who states that something very strange was captured in a video that was taken many years ago. The girl in this clip is Lorlee's cousin-in-law's daughter, who was about 10 years old when she took this video. According to Lorlee, she was filming herself in her bedroom when something pretty spooky happened. The video starts off with the young girl playing with her toys, doing a show and tell of a kitchen playset she was recently given.
Y esta tacita
I saw movement.
como fucsia. Huevo. ¿Sí?
She did the smart thing.
It was promptly after noticing the doll's arm lifting on its own that the girl pauses, turns around, and bolts out in a panic frenzy. Even before this, it appeared that she had already sensed something strange was happening. As if seeing one of her toys suddenly fall by itself wasn't already enough to make her feel unsettled, this happens. Now currently, the girl in this video is 14 years old, but despite how old this video is, it continues to haunt her to this day. Just like Lorlee and others who've seen this clip, they have no idea as to how the doll seemingly moved on its own.
The question is, what would be the reason why they would want to keep something like this a secret? I don't totally understand it.
I don't either.
I mean, if there really were a race of giants that survived, let's assume that what we're talking about is what's referenced in the Bible, right? Let's assume, or at least the Book of Enoch, right? The Nephilim, right? If we're talking about giants, like the thing about giants is like Native Americans have stories about red-headed giants. They talk about the same thing, about them having 6 fingers and 6 toes. They have these same myths. Like, how is it that people from the Middle East and people from North America have this same ancient story? And what is it in reference to? Like, why does that?
It's ubiquitous. The legends of giants are universal all over the earth.
Why hide that? That's what I don't understand. Like, the stories about the Smithsonian are always fascinating.
Yeah.
Because the stories are, there have been archaeological digs, and they have discovered like enormous femurs that they thought were like woolly mammoths or something, and then they realized like, well, this is a giant human, and they find hair, and the hair is red, and that they take these bones and they tuck them away somewhere. I mean, this is always the myth. They tuck them away in the basement of the Smithsonian or somewhere else, and for whatever reason, the general public is not allowed to know about this. And I don't totally understand. What is it about giants that they would try to keep from us? Like, if they find a new species of dinosaur that's extinct, they'll let you know.
Right.
Fascinating.
Right.
Amazing. They find Homo floresiensis, or however you say it, the little hobbit people.
Yeah.
They'll let you know. Look, we found little hobbit people. Pretty cool. Giants, for whatever reason.
Check this out, y'all. I need your help. What is going on here? This lady lives in Wisconsin and was walking down the sidewalk and came across this, what seems to be a little baby walrus. I am confused. What is going on here? First of all, is this thing real? I've never seen a little baby walrus like this. And what is this thing doing out of the water, y'all? Check this out.
This is, or whatever it is, I don't want you to run away. Look at that, he look like a little baby seal.
It do.
I'm just confused. She said this thing is very much real, y'all. It's not no toy or anything like that. It's a literal baby walrus or some type of slug or something like that, right? Am I tripping? I'm not too familiar with a lot of sea animals, a lot of sea species, because there's always new ones popping up, y'all. But have you guys ever seen something like this? The teeth is there, everything is there, y'all. Yeah, let us know down in the comments below. This is crazy.
You think all those street cameras are just for traffic?
The foremost, I know drug trafficking, a lot of it's done on foot. A lot of people, because a lot of drug-dependent people walk up to a house or to a car and buy drugs. So first thing I do is I go over to my class and I just want people. So I eliminate all the car noise. So now I just have the people that go through the scene in a 24-hour span of time. And I'm actually watching that in 9 minutes and 44 seconds. So I figure out now the next thing I want to do is where do these people go the most? So I use the pass. And right then and there, I have my drug deals in seconds because there's the frequency meter right there, and I can see the pass. So these two houses were in concert. We did search warrants on these later. But I also want to know, just for my own edification, how many people just go to that little door, like right there, every day? How many people go into that intersection? And this time that went a little higher, it's 400 because it crossed underneath there too. So you can see every one of these people walking, and all these people are going, and the car are going right to that. Look at that. Does that look like a regular house deal, or does that look like a drug bar?
Now, I don't know how common this is, if this is everywhere by now or not, but if that shit is real, man, that is crazy. Dude literally tracked people just off of movement patterns and figured out exactly what was going on and who was selling what. That is way more advanced than just speeding tickets, man. What is going on here?
We're looking at the latest model of robotic bird spying drones. This footage comes from research published in the prestigious scientific journal Nature. This next gen of bird drone can not only fly like a bird, but walk and perch like a bird as well. Although these drones are getting better by the day, this concept is not new. Bird animatronics go back hundreds of years. But now these centuries-old curiosities are evolving into something far more advanced. Spy tech that can blend in with nature and be almost indistinguishable from real birds. I wonder how many bird spy drones are already out there.
How many do you think is out there, Seekers, bro? That's crazy to think about, man. That our robotics has come so far, bro, that it can actually blend in with nature, and you couldn't tell the difference between a real bird or that it could be a drone, man. Once again, bro, adapt. He was right about the pigeons, bro. If you know, you know.
Bill Gates is funding a new meat company that uses lab-created cells that never stop dividing. Kind of sounds like cancer. Well, because it is. Now, this is literally an infinite, eternal, biological creature of an engine that endlessly spits out animal tissue without needing a new creature. Where are we as humanity? Like, get this man out of the health sector. First of all, it actually holds the same biological DNA of aggressive cancers and tumors, and they're marketing it to us as regular meat. You know, can we do something? Can't please. I have to buy cows now. Where am I going to buy cows? At least it's not crickets yet, but I know he's going to get us into crickets. This is my driver. You guys, stop getting oh, but it has protein in it. That thing is not natural. That's not natural. We do not need to create an amoeba of meat, mystery meat. You know, I just can't imagine what that actually looks like.
Won't be eating that. Hell no.
Here, check it out, family. This person happened to catch this damn invisible aircraft in Argentina last night. And I have to say this, there's been a lot of stranger things going on in the sky where a plane from New York headed to Chicago had to get grounded in Detroit and all the feds was around it on funnel grade. Shit is crazy.
It is officially begun. Today, India has started their attempt at the impossible, trying to count their entire population in the biggest biggest census the world has ever seen. And they better lock in, because it's even more insane than it sounds. Not only did they have to count an estimated population of 1.5 billion people, that's nearly 20% of the entire planet, but also they're aiming to ask each citizen a series of 33 questions relating to things like housing, internet access, living standards, and so on. That would be a total of 49 billion questions. And that's not even the craziest part, because despite the introduction of some digital methods to try and make this census less complicated, a significant chunk of it will still need to be done the old-fashioned way. Door-to-door surveys. And just so you guys understand, in India, there's approximately 600,000 villages, some of which are located in extremely remote areas like the Himalayan mountains, which can only be reached on foot. So, to carry out this monstrous task, India have appointed an army of 3 million officials. That's like the equivalent of the entire population of Jamaica, all doing one job. And they have been given just 1 year to complete probably the most logistically complicated task in history. So, India, we wish you good luck. You're gonna need it.
Good luck.
We've successfully subscriptionified our entire lives. Like, really, when you think about it, pretty much everything now is a subscription. Literally, just existing is a subscription. Oh, do you want to be alive for another month? Pay our monthly fees. All of your basic necessities in life have become a subscription. Even like your rent. It's a monthly fee that you pay that you have to renew at the end of the year, and then they're just going to increase the price with absolutely no improvements to the product, and you have no choice because you don't want to move, or it's too expensive to. Even your subscriptions have become a subscription. They're just like, oh, are you having a hard time paying your monthly subscriptions? Well, here's an app to finance your monthly subscriptions through a monthly subscription. There's no escaping it. And by the way, they're not done. They're just getting started. Everything is, they're going to have to start having like subscription babies, subscription spouses, where they give you like a checkbox and you order one in the mail, and then you can have the option to renew after a year if you don't like it. Which that actually sounds kind of good now that I think about it.
You was hitting the nail on the head, man, about everything becoming a subscription, though. You can't lie, Seekers, man. Literally now, everything is a subscription, bro. It's like ever since, man, they introduced, I don't know, like, bro, streaming. I'm not talking about, like streaming, Twitch and stuff like that, but these streaming shows, man. Subscribe to HBO, Disney Plus, all those, subscription websites, man. And like you said, the fact that he said, paid the subscription, the man to help manage your subscriptions. I've seen those commercials sometimes, and I just didn't put that together till now. And I'm like, so you're paying to help keep your subscriptions in check, so you're paying for a subscription for the subscription, bro. Mind-boggling.
Here we're making robots that are made of robots, which is why I call them nanomachines. So these robots are made out of modular parts that are themselves robots. And this means that if one part of the body is damaged or lost to injury, the rest of the body is fine. It survives. It continues to function. So we really wanted to create robots that were more resilient and that could evolve.
Smart.
We evolved these robots to move themselves through the world with a little bit of athleticism. So more athletic than any other modular robot has been on land, more athletic than any other evolved robot has been.
That's a great idea, bro.
Let me tell you this, right?
Yep.
Take of this what you like.
Yep.
I was in bed with a woman, and that's it. That's the end of my story. I was in bed with a woman, right? I'm lying on the pillow, and I'm looking at her face, right? Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian.
Now listen.
My face went, oh my God. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom! Take it, make of that what you will. That's what happened.
It happened again, y'all. The sky turned red again.
No way.
This time it's not Australia. This is the Greek island of Crete. Look at the sky, fool. Shit is red.
Places even turn orange. And they're saying this is from dust that was pushed over from Africa. I'm hearing it didn't just happen in Australia and Crete though. I'm hearing other countries is experiencing the same thing. So I'm guessing all of this is caused by a dust storm. Right, okay. And the way people record it, that's been living, it's like they never experienced it. It's new to them. So for the people that's trying to make it seem like this is normal,
it ain't.
It's not, bro. How you gonna say it's normal when the people that live there is acting like this shit is not normal? They're looking at it, recording it like, bruh, this is not normal, bro. If and when this happened anywhere else, I'ma let y'all know. Let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. This shit crazy.
Why does the sky keep turning red? That's what I want to know. He says because it's a dust storm. Do you guys believe that, Seekers? If you guys wake up and you see the whole sky is red, man, what's your reaction? I definitely need to know now, bro. Australia, Crete. Who's next, man? I have no idea. Watered down gas. They still messing with the gas, bro. I'm going like 20 miles an hour. They just had to take it, go to the gas station, bro.
My way, I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. 26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt road she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept the bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
Delcia is one of dozens of landowners approached by an anonymous buyer, one of the major players in artificial intelligence, likely Google or Meta or Amazon, to purchase their land. The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not. We know whenever our food is disappearing, our lands are disappearing, and we don't have any water. And poison, we know we've had it.
Delcia's mom, Ida Huddleston, is now 82 years old. She says she does not need the money or the hassle. She was born on this land and she plans to die here, and she certainly does not trust the promises made by the AI companies or the people who want them to build here.
Smart.
So what do you say to the people who are in town that say, hey, this is going to bring jobs, this is going to bring economic prosperity?
I say they're a liar and the truth ain't in them, is what I say. It's a scam.
For Delcia, scam
She
or not,
know.
she says she's connected to her home like Scarlett O'Hara was in Gone with the Wind.
As long as she was attached to that land, her spirit never would die. And that's the exact same thing for me right here. As long as I'm on this land, as long as it's feeding me, as long as it's taking care of me, there's nothing that can destroy me if I've got this land.
The U.S. buried 120,000 tons of nuclear waste under a concrete dome on a tiny Pacific island, and it is officially cracking open. This is obviously insane, but between 1946 and 1958, the United States detonated 67 nuclear bombs across the Marshall Islands. Some of them were actually 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima, and everybody should know how big that one was. Whenever they were done, they sent soldiers to scrape radioactive soil, debris, and plutonium off of 6 different islands, and then they dumped it all into one spot in a crater on a Tylee island. They then thought that it was a brilliant idea to seal it with an 18-inch concrete cap, and locals literally call this area the Tomb. And now, almost 50 years later, visible cracks are spreading across the surface. So, do we sense a problem here? The island sits just 6 feet above sea level, and scientists are saying that it'll be partially underwater by the end of the century. So it's problem after problem after problem after problem. And the actual material that's inside the crater is plutonium-239. It stays radioactive for 24,000 years. A nuclear engineer said that no concrete structure on Earth could survive even a small fraction of that, and people still live 20 miles away and fish in that lagoon. And somehow, the moral of this entire story is, the US says that it is not their problem anymore.
Yes, it is. What the hell? We need to fix that.
Neil Armstrong being the first man to walk on the moon. Talk about a fish story. Man, and they're buying it. Okay. I said, what's going on with you, man? Your eyes are different. I don't exist. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh, and stuff like that, make you happy and docile, so you don't know what's really going on.
Okay. Was he spitting? It's not pumping, but that number's still running up, bro. Y'all see that? Bro, what is up, bro? Everybody's trying to finesse with this gas, man.
It's cool. Like, even if he's saying something about you that's untrue, like, let him. Even if he's saying something about you that's true, let him. You know what I mean? What, like, there's a adult in the room that comes and says, like, yo, your initial instinct is not worth it. You know what I mean? Because your initial instinct could lead to a movie that you've seen so many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And on top of that, just on a spiritual level, it's like, yo, what's that gonna do? Like, so I'm ramping it up on that verse to just give you insight. Yeah, you never really got that from me, but it's like, just to give you insight into like, yo, that's how it feels. And I know people feel that and can relate to that, because it's like, yo, that's, you know, for better or for worse, that's a knee-jerk reaction to disrespect. You know what I mean? It's like it's a defensiveness.
Unwarranted disrespect. You know, I think you pointed out, like, look, when I was broke and struggling and trying to piece it together, like, I was on my own figuring that out, you know? So for you to then come at me now when I'm doing, like, something good for myself, it's understandable. Yeah.
J. Cole. Saying some powerful words, man. You have to have restraint in this life, bro. If you just like react off of anything and everything somebody says or does to you, you might do something that's gonna cost you for the rest of your life, instead of just, you know, sitting back, thinking, being like, okay, you know what? It's not worth it. Just walk away, man. Imagine if the world had restraint, bro. Or if more people used it. We wouldn't be in the situations we would be in now.
Just saying the Cheetos survived, so maybe nobody should eat Cheetos, because this is what the rest of the house looks like. So I'm fucking done eating Cheetos. Never eaten that shit again.
A man was just detained for breaking into Area 51, claiming that he worked for NASA and that he was investigating a time anomaly. Yeah, so this is a wild story from newly released body cam footage showing a man who tried driving past security at the Area 51 back gate back in January 2026, and this happened in the middle of the night. Which, if you didn't know, Area 51 is one of the most heavily guarded military installations on the planet. Like, if you put a foot over the gate, you're getting locked up or worse. And what he told the officers that stopped him is crazy. Basically, anytime they asked why he was there, he claimed that he was a contractor for NASA, and he had driven out there because of this time dilation anomaly. And he was saying this in a totally calm manner. He didn't come off as confused, and actually had 3 government badges on him. One for NASA, one for something called the Redstone Arsenal, and one for Army Material Command. Check this out.
Sounds weird, strange, but it's true. This is part of a time dilation facility, and we are experiencing this now.
Yeah, that's time dilation, Einstein's theory of relativity. And he's saying that he's experienced this kind of loop multiple times. Now, Dispatch couldn't confirm if his credentials were fake or not, but they found this report of this same guy trying to get into the Nellis Air Force Base in Vegas the month before. Now, obviously, none of this is confirmed, and if this guy even works for NASA or not, or who he really is, but this footage is real, and the way he's talking doesn't sound like he's making things up in his completely calm demeanor, but who knows? Eventually, this guy is released, and he tells the deputies there that he'll be back again on the same date, like he's stuck in this loop. So, was this guy just making up this story, or does he know something that the rest of us don't?
He might.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, RS 25 engines. 4,
We have liftoff.
2, 1, booster ignition. And liftoff 2, now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
Back up on the moon again, man.
Good roll pitch.
Or are we?
Houston, now controlling the flight of integrity. Artemis 2 mission route.
Integrity 8MT high.
Everything's good.
On time passing 30 seconds. Integrity passes the ultimate eagle. Target milestone. Mission control Houston see good performance. Engines, space launch system core stage. Integrity 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
I've been waiting not so patiently for Scientology to release the celebrities that were sitting in the front row of L. Ron Hubbard's birthday celebration this year. I think they had a celebration event in Los Angeles last Saturday, and then it looks to me like the celebration, the big one in Clearwater, is happening today, which I suppose is why I haven't seen any pictures yet. But I thought while we're waiting, we can look at who was front row last year. And of course, the most visible in all of the slideshow pictures was Elizabeth Moss. Elizabeth Moss is a second-generation Scientologist. People thought for a long time that maybe she wasn't super active in Scientology, but she has been attending a lot more events than usual and was pictured front and center. Sitting not too far down from her was Michael Pena. I just made a video about him and his journey in Scientology. And then close by are the people that piqued Michael Pena's interest in joining Scientology, and that is Jenna and Bodhi Elfman. People also thought that John Travolta had distanced himself from Scientology in recent years, but nope, there he is at L. Ron Hubbard's birthday celebration near Elizabeth Moss. And then not sitting in the front row, but at that same event, Erin Cairo from Braille Skateboarding got an award. I actually need to do a video on that soon because it's actually really sad how Erin Cairo basically gave up everything to run a Scientology center. I'll keep you updated with who we see in attendance this year.
I don't know nothing about Scientology except that one time I just kept seeing this a Tom Cruise meme, and I just looked up a video about Tom Cruise Scientology. I think I found out about that by watching Dragonfly, bro. It was like a Tom Cruise impersonator or something like that, and I just looked it up and it popped up. That's all I know about Scientology, man.
Artificial intelligence.
process raw data 1,000,000 times faster than we can still be able to make the leaps of intuition that inspired our greatest minds. Sounds as if the human race could become quite expendable. Except for Butters, of course. Of course.
You too, Batman? You knew about this and didn't tell us?
Prep time.
You put it in the cartoon so we could figure it out years later? Batman's been talking about AI when we were still kids. I knew it. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Batman doesn't know what he's talking about because he's a cartoon character, bro. It's not a game. He told us about AI since way back. The Matrix told us about AI since way back. Other places, people, and things told us about AI since way back. And nobody listened. You know what they thought? They thought they were just saying 2 letters out the alphabet. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got to know what it is. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see somebody say that AI was invented recently, prove it to me.
Right.
Hey, at this gas station on Red Bridge, above the folks, they got this little box. Every time a car pull in, it say unlicensed vehicle, temporary user. So if you got bad tags, you probably want to pull up here. Keeping the tags, it's a cop up in this motherfucker, right here next to the radio station. Block cameras. I don't know if it's in the signals, dispatch, or what.
Block cameras is big business, and they're starting to blow up. They're spreading everywhere, bro. And a lot of companies, they're working with them. They're making it easy to work with these companies. So this type of surveillance is going to be everywhere. It's like we living in this movie, you know? I'm like, what's the stop with this? Because I know this finna go up. These flock cameras finna be everywhere, you feel me? So flock safety is private right now. Of course, you can't buy it's only better eat leads right now. But they said on the size question, Flock has gotten huge. Recent reporting says it's used nearly by 6,000 U.S. law enforcement agencies and 12,000 corporate clients. So first of all, they're getting glitchy with 12,000 corporate clients. Sheesh, how much money are they making? I'm like, why they not telling more people about this? You know what I'm saying? They said they do tell people, but they do it through contracts, council votes, pilot programs, and police partnerships. But they say most people only hear about it. Like, if I'm making a video, this is the only time you gonna hear about it, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't deep diving into tech and stuff like that. But y'all drop some stocks or something like that I could catch on the investment tip before this goes all the way up, bro, before it becomes normal. Be like, yeah, I got a Ring camera, I got a Flock camera, you know, like.
Rumored to be a whole flesh pit in Texas, but no one cares. And TikTok, these are just conspiracies that I'm bringing to light. Not saying that they're true, also saying I don't know if they're not. But does anyone think that that's not normal? There's even video games based off of this, and it's been rumored for a long time. If it did have some truth to it, then that would mean that Earth is alive in a being, or at least Texas. When you think about it, that's where the most oil comes from in the country, is Texas. So is it oil to us and possibly something else to Earth? I don't know, just a wild, wild thought. Like and comment and let me know what you think.
So are y'all aware that NASA is taking astronauts up to the moon today? Today, out of all days. Do you know what today is? Did NASA forget what today is? Today is April 1st. April Fools. So they plan on taking 4 astronauts to the moon on April Fools. I don't know what this is. This is not the spaceship that they're taking, but I'm looking at this junk right here. This is in Texas somewhere. Like, what is going on here? Is someone else planning to go to the moon too? But look at this. Even Google's ready to program you about the so-called moon landing that's happening on April Fool's Day. Bro, who do these people think that we are? And then not to mention, NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. And then the only thing that they're missing from the NASA logo is a picture of the snake. Y'all see the tongue of the snake right over here because they're liars. They're snakes. We already talked how the moon is a reflection of the map of the Earth. The moon is not a real entity. It is a plasma projection on the dome. The dome is a two-way mirror. Do y'all remember when Jeff Bezos paid for a group of celebrity women to go to space? Do y'all remember how long it took them to get to space? Apparently, it took 7 to 8 minutes after liftoff to get to space. And then not only that, they came back on the same day. What happened to moon missions taking months and months in order to be successful? Jeff Bezos got it like that? But at least this time they're taking a traditional rocket. We'll see how long it's going to take them. But the fact of the matter is, even NASA's director said that the technology that they needed to go to the moon, they got rid of it. So how are they going to the moon now? Y'all, today is April Fool's for a reason. Do not fall for this deception, bro. These people have been lying ever since they stepped off the slave ship called Jesus, and they are still doing it to this day, bro. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace and...
I don't know why they would do.
Big facts that will ruin your life. Baby chicks, while very sweet, are often grinded up. In many large factories, if they're baby roosters, they're just tossed into a grinder. Pretty gross. Did you know that in the United States alone, every year, around 2,500 people die from using right-handed equipment that were originally left-handed? Sucks to be left-handed. George Bush Sr. was the only man to survive after his plane was shot down in World War II by Japanese soldiers. Out of the 9 men that were cannibalized and eaten on by Japanese soldiers, Bush was somehow the only one to survive. Hopefully you like boogers, because Inuit mothers actually suck the snot out of their baby's nose. Nasty. Did you know there's actually 200 corpses right now on Mount Everest? Due to the body's elevation, they're actually left up there and perfectly preserved to the extreme climate and temperatures. They're used as guide points for climbers and hikers. Comment and let me know which fact disturbed you the most.
Basically it's a graveyard, man.
This is without a doubt the creepiest mugshot I've ever seen. This is 33-year-old Solomon Galligan. He is an S offender that tried to kidnap a little boy from an elementary school in Colorado. This entire ordeal happened last Friday, and he went up to multiple children. Before police arrived, he tried to grab the young boy and flee, but that was unsuccessful, so he just fled to begin with. He was later caught by police and charged with 1 count of kidnapping. As a result, the elementary school and the surrounding areas are increasing security and police presence. But bro, this mugshot is definitely the creepiest shit I've ever seen. There's not a single feeling of remorse or regret in those eyes. He's now being held on a $25,000 bond. He had a similar incident in 2012 and he failed to register as an offender. Now, luckily, the little boy that he tried to kidnap was unharmed. And this also happened while the kids were at recess. I'm not sure how this happened. I feel like when I was growing up in recess, all of the teachers would be watching us.
Yeah.
But they definitely need to step up security. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Movie bloopers that are better than the actual movie. In The Dark Knight, while Joker sits in a jail cell, he overhears Detective Gordon get promoted to commissioner. Naturally, the rest of his squad applauds him, but then they hear the Joker clapping in the background. The Joker's creepy clap wasn't in the script, but it fit the scene so well they kept it in. In the show Friends, Matthew Perry actually hits his head on a filing cabinet.
Please, just...
Well, this was a total accident, and Jennifer Aniston's reaction was completely genuine. In this scene in Spider-Man Homecoming, Tony Stark leans over to open the door, but Peter Parker hugs him instead. This wasn't in the script, but Tom Holland thought it would be funny, which led to Robert Downey Jr. improvising this line on the spot.
That's not a hug, I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not.
Classic.
In How the Grinch Stole Christmas, in this scene, everything was supposed to fall off when Jim Carrey pulled the tablecloth. But it didn't go as planned, so he had to improvise. This wasn't in the script, but it was so funny they kept it in.
Records that will never be broken again. Number 1, the woman with the most children. Back in the 1800s, a Russian woman named Vasiliev gave birth to 69 total children. She had 16 pairs of twins, 7 triplets, and 4 quadruplets. And no one has come close to matching that number since. Number 2, the most nuclear explosions ever survived. This is Tsutomu Namaguchi. He has survived 2 different nuclear explosions. Tsutomu was on a business trip when the first nuclear bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. After miraculously surviving that explosion, he returned to his hometown of Nagasaki just in time to witness the second atomic bombing. But again, he miraculously survived and lived till the age of 93.
That's rough.
Facts that will probably keep you up at night. One of your photos that you have today
will be used in your funeral. There are more slaves today than any other time in history. According to the founder of the Walk Free Foundation, there are 46 million slaves in the world today.
Oh.
Your eyes can still move after your death for 15 to 30 seconds. Watching TV for more than 2 hours a day can shorten your life expectancy by 1.4 years. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, no one knows where that signal came from. A lit candle causes more than 15,000 house fires every year. Spider rain could happen at any moment above you. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the 2017 version of It, was born in 1990, the year the original It was released. Yeah.
Those are some creepy coincidences, man. Spider rain? I've never heard of something like that before, but I definitely don't want to experience that, man. Imagine you just walking outside, normal day, just see a whole bunch of freaking spiders coming down. You like, what in the world is this world coming to, man? How does something like that even happen?
If you see him while you're awake, run. So this story actually comes from a Reddit user who's a therapist. And this user had a patient who was coming in complaining of seeing Hatman at night. This patient would apparently wake up in the middle of the night to see Hatman standing at the foot of their bed, watching them sleep. And as a result, they were not really sleeping much. So the therapist prescribed some pretty heavy sleeping medication, and as a result, the patient starts getting a little better. But then one day, the patient comes in and just looks like they had seen a ghost. So the therapist asked them what was wrong, and they said that as they were getting in the car to come to therapy, they saw Hatman standing across the street during the day. This therapist had only ever heard of Hatman when it came to patients waking up in the middle of the night and seeing him, never when they were already awake doing things in the middle of the day. So the patient is terrified, but the therapist thinks this might be a side effect of the medication. It takes a little while to get used to. But that was the last time the patient ever came to see the therapist.
Man, is he real? Cap.
Scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 2. The Hoia Baciu Forest is considered the most haunted forest in all of Romania. Hundreds of people have gone missing within these woods, among other things like screams, laughter, babies crying, people being attacked by unseen paranormal forces, strange balls of light, UFOs, and in the very center of the forest lies a clearing where no plant life will grow. It is believed that this spot is a portal to another dimension. What do you think? Like and follow for more.
Okay, that one, the most haunted freaking forest of Romania, man, where all those plants not growing and how they said it can be ported there. I definitely want to check up on that one because that sounds interesting, man. Like, no plants are going in that whole open area. That space is just like a freaking, look like a crop circle. What do you guys think? Is that a dimension to another
incident has
reality?
made people on the internet so upset because this woman went up to a teen and pulled down her skirt because she thought it was too short. Even if you think this skirt is too short, I think we can all agree that you cannot go up to a child and touch them. The teen said that this woman approached her from behind and basically put her hand in her area. This woman, who's a 49-year-old Ida Lorenzo, said to the girl and her friends, "I happen to work for the state, and if I have to see your cheeks hanging out again, I will call CPS."
I happen to work for the state, and if I have to watch your cheeks hanging out again, I will call CPS.
Now, let's be real for a second. If this was a man who did this to a young girl, police would be called immediately and there would be no excuses. They were waiting at a restaurant to be seated and she basically felt like it was inappropriate for this young girl to be dressed like this in front of everyone. Which, if you feel that way, then you can leave. You should never be putting your hands on anyone. She was eventually charged with sexual battery, which I'm glad because you can't be putting your hands on anyone, especially kids.
She said it perfectly. No words needed on that clip. Everything to a T.
Here are 5 regular things that are illegal in North Korea. Number 1, wearing jeans. In North Korea, wearing jeans is a symbol of their enemy America.
Number 2, turning off the radio. All houses come with a government-installed radio that makes announcements through the day. Number 3, practicing religion. Reading a Bible can get you publicly executed. Number 4, watching foreign films. Watching foreign films can get you executed or sent to a labour camp. And number 5, listening to foreign music. All music has to be Kim Jong-un approved.
You were taught that you probably
Never
still
gone to
believe.
North Korea.
Number 1, that cracking your knuckles will cause arthritis. While cracking your knuckles might sound and look damaging, it does not cause arthritis. That loud pop that you hear when you crack your knuckles is caused by bubbles bursting in your synovial fluid, and the bubbles pop when you pull the bones apart. Blood in your veins is blue. If you look down at your arm, you can probably see your veins and see they look blue. However, your blood is not actually blue in your veins. Blood is either red or dark red, but never blue. Your veins look blue because of your skin. Blue light does not penetrate human tissue as deeply as red light does, and as a result, veins that are close to the surface of the skin will be more likely to reflect blue light back to your eyes. You can hear the sound of the ocean in shells. This is a myth. The sound you hear when you put a shell against your ear has nothing to do with it being from the ocean. It's actually part of the background noise around you, just turned up a little bit by the shell. So if you're next to the ocean, the shell picks up the sound of the ocean, the alpha wolf. There's actually no such thing as an alpha wolf. This idea was brought about in a paper from the 1970s, but the author later said in a paper that he rejected the idea of an alpha wolf. While it's true that multiple wolves who share a small space in captivity will develop alpha and beta-like hierarchies, wild wolves behave nothing like this. In the wild, a wolf pack is typically formed by monogamous parents and their puppies, and the wolf pack is basically a tightly knit family consisting of parents or breeders and their offspring, not an alpha and beta. How rare is your body? Let's find out. About 75% of people have a deviated septum, and this is a condition in which the bone and cartilage that divide the nose in half are crooked, making one nasal passage smaller than the other, and it's known to cause nosebleeds, problems breathing, or loud breathing when you're sleeping. Less than 1% of people have an extra finger crease, and it's also called camptodactyly, and it's just when you have an extra little ridge on your fingers, and it is most common on your pinky. Less than 1% of people have an eyeball scar. This is also called a macular pucker, and it's just scar tissue that forms in your eye, and it's known to cause blurred or distorted vision, and it's caused when the vitreous, which is the gel-like part of your eye, starts to pull away from the retina. Less than 1% of people can hear colors or see sounds. For example, this could happen as soon as someone hears a sound, they automatically see the color red, or as soon as they read a word, a certain color pops into their mind. About 33% of people experience motion sickness, and this 33% are highly susceptible to motion sickness, while the rest just experience it in extreme conditions. And it's caused when your brain starts to get signals from your body that it's moving, but they're mismatched and don't match up.
Here's some Disney Channel stars that went to...
Do I have any of those? Or is any of the Seeker's bodies weird, man? Does they have that extra, we said, I guess cartilage on your pinky or eyeball scars? I didn't even know the eyeball could get a scar.
to jail, but each time the crime gets worse. Starting off, Mitchell Musso, who played Oliver Oken in Hannah Montana, was pulled over in 2011 for driving under the influence. He was only 20 at the time and was arrested and released on bail. Because of this, his character was written out of Pair of Kings and his show Prank Stars was canceled. Next up, Adam Hicks, who played Luther on Zeke and Luther and had a starring role in Lemonade Mouth, was arrested a couple times, but most recently for an armed robbery with his girlfriend. His sentencing was delayed multiple times due to mental health evaluations and was eventually given a 5-year sentence. But he's now currently on parole and making music on TikTok. Moving on, Lindsay Lohan was Disney's golden child in the early 2000s, starring in iconic movies such as The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and Mean Girls, before getting into trouble with the law. She's been arrested for driving under the influence, drug possession, violating her probation, a theft charge, and has even had a bench warrant out for her arrest. And finally, Phil Lewis, who played Mr. Mosby on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, was arrested and charged for vehicle manslaughter after killing a 21-year-old girl while drunk driving. When they tested his blood alcohol, it was 3 times the legal limit. He was originally given a 5-year sentence, 2 years of probation, and 350 hours of community service, but ended up only serving 1 year due to his work with prison-based theater groups that performed in jails, churches, and schools to highlight the consequences of drug abuse.
After breaking up in the 50s,
Childhood.
these two high school sweethearts are now newlyweds at 82 and 85. Eddie and Caroline dated for years in high school, and they spent so much time together that Caroline was known as Eddie Eddie's girl around their Nashville town. And when Eddie graduated a few years before Caroline, she had hoped for his class ring as a sign of commitment, but Eddie wasn't ready. And he was about to leave their hometown for the ROTC program at the University of Tennessee when he dropped her off at her house one evening in 1959 without giving her a class ring and with no mention of the future. Caroline knew that their relationship was over. She says that she recalls running into her house and crying for that entire night. And then the two went on to live completely separate lives, including Caroline winning Miss Nashville the same year that Eddie left. In 1961, they both married other people and shortly thereafter had children and raised families. Eddie spent 21 years as a pilot in the Air Force, and Caroline became an interior designer and an author. But in 2001, Caroline lost her husband, and in 2021, Eddie lost his wife. A year later, in 2022, Eddie felt compelled to reach out to Caroline, and he says he called 9 times before she answered, but when she did, the spark was still there. With 6 decades of catching up to do, they met back up in Nashville, and just 3 months later, Eddie asked her to marry him. He wanted to get her a traditional engagement ring, but she said that all she wanted was his high school class ring, just like all those years ago. Now, as newlyweds in their 80s, they say that they feel just like kids again. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day.
It's true love. Really, works through. They found each other, man, after all that time. Can you even imagine that, living separate lives? You come back and marry your first love. That's a great story. We need something positive every day.
Mason TV was able to trick Spotify into sending him Harry Styles' 1 billion streams plaque, so he decided to put it to good use. He created a TikTok account with the username SecretSue94, later changed to Sue Manella, playing on Harry Styles' nickname Sue, known within his fandom. He created multiple vines Harry made in 2013, adding subtle clues like a drawn-on cross tattoo to make it seem more authentic, and even getting pink carpet for his stairs to match Harry's stairs. He developed a multiverse of fake TikTok accounts for Harry's friends to lend credibility to the main account. He went to great lengths, including dressing up as Harry, painting his nails, and having fake paparazzi photos taken to show Harry with a Spotify plaque and using TikTok on his phone, which helped him spread the belief in the account. Overnight, fans all over social media and even major media outlets were speculating about its authenticity. Millions of people talking about the account led it to going viral and amassing over 600,000 followers.
This man left his 2-year-old toddler in a hot car while he went to go play video games. Not only is this case super disturbing because of what he was doing while his 2-year-old daughter was strapped in this hot boiling car, but apparently he's done this so many times before. It all happened on July 9th when 37-year-old Christopher Schultz arrived home at 12:50 and his daughter was strapped into her car seat and she was sleeping, so he decided to leave her in there because he did not want to wake her up, and he had left the AC on as well. Christopher's wife Erica arrived home at 4 p.m. from work and she found their 2-year-old daughter still strapped in the car. At this point, this poor little girl was already gone, and when paramedics arrived, there was nothing they could really do. Now, while Christopher claims that the AC was on, it turns out that it actually turned off only 30 minutes after he left to go inside. This means that she was left in this 180-degree boiling car for about 2.5 hours. At first, Christopher lied and said that he had left her in there for about 30 to 45 minutes and had checked up on her multiple times, but after they investigated and saw home surveillance footage of a neighbor, they noticed that she was actually in there for about 3 hours.
How long was she sleeping in the car out there? I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes. And I don't think their air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I checked on her last. It was still running. She was still sleeping. And then when I went back out, the car was off.
Like I said, he's done this so many times before, according to his other daughters. And his wife also sent him a text message saying, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" But what I also found so weird is that his wife also sided with him, and she got really upset when police arrested Christopher. I don't understand how she has any type of sympathy for this man who just took your baby's life because he was playing video games. He was warned multiple times about this, so there is no excuse. Christopher was originally charged with 2nd-degree M, but then it was changed to 1st-degree, and he pleaded not guilty. If he gets convicted, he does face life in prison.
Here is another very scary and unexplainable doorbell camera clip. This one though may show some kind of flying creature. Then a giant dark shadow whooshes past the screen. The shadow is huge, and it moves swiftly, way too large and fast to be anything we know of.
Yep.
As it flies by, it even knocks snow off the nearby streetlight, showing us that something really was there.
Ain't no bird.
It must have been just out of the shot, and it flew right above the houses. Some say the shadow itself could have been the creature, like maybe some kind of dark, ghostly spirit. Another thing that makes this so real is the fact that the OP, Charlene Excelsior, has never posted anything like this ever on her TikTok page. As you can see here, her videos just consist of nature and animal content. No other creepy creature videos like this one. So it seems this is a real video that was picked up on her security cameras late this night. But what do you guys think it could be? The Mothman or some kind of other flying cryptid? Or maybe even a ghost itself? Or could it somehow all be explainable?
Could be explainable. You never know. She's trying to sneak out. They pulling her in the living room. What the fuck? What the hell is that? She don't know. Some are broken.
So apparently like 20 images of UFOs got leaked on Reddit. They're allegedly from a government program that's studying them. Now look at this one picture of this UFO. This one freaks me out. I don't even think we have that technology or it exists. These images look like they were captured on military equipment or some type of Navy jet. Now there are some parts that have been blacked out on the bottom and sides, and I think that's like the navigation stuff from these military aircraft. Now why would you black that out if these are fake? They've clearly been studying and researching them for decades. We even had that UAP disclosure hearing in Congress where they said that Navy pilots were encountering these on a daily basis off the coast of California and Florida. Could these be aliens, or could they be interdimensional beings? Have they always been here? All this stuff is so freaky and a little suspicious if you ask me. I feel like there's a lot of momentum right now, and they might be preparing us for something in the next coming years.
Really? Off-roading near the border. It could be a skinwalker trying to trick you. I don't trust that. He better than me, bro. I would have skirted off.
This isn't a normal horse. I've looked up a weird situation like this. It's actually a skinwalker trying to form itself like an animal.
I told you about those skinwalkers, man.
Earth is going through a spiritual flu right now, and a lot of us are going through it too. So many of you probably feel like, oh my God, I don't know why I feel like this, baby. It's because the Earth is vibrating higher, and we are vibrating with it as well. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of people feel like CERN machine is the reason why the weather has been all crazy. One day it's hot, one day it's cold. No, it is because Mother Earth is having flu symptoms right now. And like I said, we had those too. So a lot of us probably feel right now like you are very weak, you are very fatigued, because I've been sleeping like a newborn baby. Do you hear me? Right? That it's not the real flu. Okay, a lot of us have a lot of sinus headaches, right? A lot of pressure behind the eye, that pulsing, pounding headache at the crown of your head, that ear ringing, the throat chakra itchy, and all that good stuff, right? Y'all, it's not the actual flu. It is a spiritual flu. At least that's the name that I'm giving it, okay? Like I said before, y'all, we are going through a split from the 3D to the 5D world, right? We are going through this big transformation, this major transition. And as the earth is vibrating higher, we as humans, or spiritual beings, we are vibrating at a higher frequency as well. So right now, our body is going through rewiring, right? It's purging, it's detoxing, it's doing all types of funky shit. And I ain't even gonna lie to you, baby. It's a little bit too much for the girl to handle, but chosen ones, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for.
Okay, anybody else feel their vibrations off, man, in 2026, bro? Like she said about the earth vibrating, changing. Maybe we feeling that too. Or she said only a select few can feel the changes the earth is going through. Tell me down below, seekers, if you guys are one.
I haven't been to Walmart in like 6 years since I used to film those Walmart videos exposing all the unfortunate food. But today I went to get some Lego, and I noticed they have robot janitors now. So janitors out of work, another job taken by AI. And then also it's self-checkout, so cashiers losing jobs. This is like a microcosm of the macrocosm of what's coming around the corner. With millions and millions of people out of work because of AI, then they'll beg for a new system because the current one's not working, but it's not broken. It's built that way. Now, it's pretty clear they want our reality synthetic. They are putting no effort into making it more organic. That's going to be up to us. This is clearly a part of the plan.
This information right here, y'all about to find out, is very deep and very interesting. Do y'all know that Tyler is not even his name? His name is really Emmett Perry, not Tyler. But stay with me, walk with me. Why his name is Tyler. This is why his name is Tyler. Tyler or Tiler is an officer in a Freemason lodge who acts as the outer guard responsible for securing the lodge entrance against unauthorized visitors. In other words, y'all, he's a gatekeeper in the business of Hollywood. He's a master Mason, top notch. Look, y'all, this is real actual information. The reference include brother, a WB, worshipful brother, which is a title for a master of a lodge. Based on 2021 Facebook posts from a Masonic related page, Tyler Perry is recognized as a brother in Masonry. Because I know some of y'all like, nah, man, you lying. You conspiracy theorists. What is this? This is not made up. This ain't AI. This real. This brother is highly worshipped by a lot of black people. Y'all know I ain't playing. Even the character Medea is worshipped. A lot of politicians, actors, athletes, etc. There are sellouts that look like us. Look, y'all, even when you type it's Tyler Perry and Mason, look what pops up. The first picture, you see the first picture at the top? Black and white. That's the colors that they wait.
The whole Facebook movie is a giant lie. It wasn't like this autistic guy named Mark Zuckerberg just came up with this great idea. No, dude, that was a Pentagon program called LifeLog that wants to basically collect all your data for your whole life. What day did the government stop the LifeLog project? February 4th. Now, look up what day was Facebook registered as a business.
February 4th, 2004.
The exact same day. They don't even hide it, dude.
It was created by DARPA.
Yeah, and then they handed it to Mark Zuckerberg. They own Instagram, Facebook, they own WhatsApp, they own all of it, dude.
You have.
Wow. I never knew that, bro. Those dates, they do line up, man. That's eerie, bro. LifeLog. Trying to collect all the info, bro.
No idea. Do you know what this is? You've been under a spell your entire life. You didn't even know it. This letter is proof that the world already ended. And if you can't understand it, you may not be who you think you are. You may be one of the few who are sent to change everything. It's a letter from a child born in Turtle, an ancient name, and he writes, I remember the time before the Spirit came.
We didn't have to ask what life was. We were it. We walked barefoot and fed each other. We knew how to speak to animals, and they spoke back. Then it changed. A shadow came from the north, riding on a silver ship. It whispered into the minds of kings, and the kings forgot they were human. The spirit grew inside their temples, hijacked their gods, renamed their demons, and turned them into religions of conquest. And this spirit, let me be very clear, is not a person. A hunger that can never be full, a cold algorithm of empire that promised salvation but brought enslavement. It claimed to civilize but left ruin. It conquered not just lands, but memory. When it reached Turtle, our songs disappeared. Our drums were silenced. We were taught to hate our grandparents. We were taught to erase our own faces.
This letter was an allegory, but it's very true. What happened to Turtle happened to the whole world. And the scariest part, you were born after the apocalypse, so you didn't even know that anything had ended. Comment below what you believe Turtle was. And if you want more on this, read the book called FAMS, Food, Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society. I love you all. Peace. The free audiobook is in a link at the top of the page.
Gets you thinking.
Sounds to me like we need to get some new conspiracy theories, because all the old ones turned out to be true.
Damn. Straight up admitting it.
Conspiracy theorists are up something like 37 and nothing.
We up, bro?
Senator Kennedy for the win.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Do you speak of
Y'all
facts?
greedy asses see what's going on with Mama Nose and that damn gumbo, right? You see, the problem is y'all trust people too much. Soon as shit start trending, y'all do what the trends say. You had numerous people go and get that gumbo and said that gumbo was nasty. You had numerous people go and get that gumbo and say Mama Nose had an attitude. And then you had another woman say that she wasn't about to give her money to a lugaru. And I don't think you know what that is. But you see, the quickest way for somebody to do something to you is through your stomach. Now all of a sudden, Houston Health Department is shutting her down. They're investigating her gumbo stand. You got people saying they got sick after they ate this gumbo. Now let me ask you this. What y'all think she put in this gumbo? I heard a girl say, gumbo ain't supposed to be that dark. Now me, I ain't a gumbo specialist. I ain't never had gumbo before. But tell me what you think she put in this gumbo. Matter of fact, look at what this lady said about Mama Nose.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Okay, you are. I'm back from I'm gonna have to be out there. It's awful experience. It was terrible. I haven't even tasted the gumbo yet.
It's supposed to be that dark?
Wow.
I was so embarrassed and so humiliated. I wouldn't finish it out and finish my picture.
Look at that. Look at that. Somebody said they overcharging for the gumbo too. Saying they charging $25 for a little cup of gumbo.
Oh.
And people saying that you can get a big thing of gumbo for $13. Come on now. Cause you a celebrity? Mama knows. People love you cause you Beyonce, mama knows.
Jamie Foxx just exposed the fact that they really tried to clone him in this video. The thing about it, he sprinkled some truth in it, and then he also sprinkled some, he was not trolling. The white part, maybe he was exaggerating it, but he's telling the truth. Especially the part when he said he was in good health, so he don't understand how he had that stroke. Y'all, listen to this video.
And so I snuck my phone to see what people were saying. I've just been in this hospital, and I couldn't get my mind around that I had a stroke. I'm in fucking perfect shape. The clone shit threw me. Yes. When they said I was a clone, that made me flip in the hospital. That's it. These motherfuckers are trying to clone me. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed like these bitch ass, and then I saw me walk into my room. But I'm white, so I see the white me. But he had a Caesar too, just not all that white me, and I'm like, and I'm trying to get their attention.
And then y'all seen the other buddy face. You like, damn, I don't think we should be talking about this. But like I said, Jamie Foxx is serious, y'all. Why would he wake up from the hospital bed and think, damn, I'm in perfect good health? How the hell I had a stroke? And then they're trying to clone me because he said he's seen it. He must know they really be doing shit like that.
You need to watch this video when it comes to AI data centers and our drinking water.
There's really no such thing as a closed loop system. It's still picking up water. That water in a closed loop system is being contaminated. It's picking up anti-corrosives, anti-scaling agents, biocides, and then what is happening is that water gets what's called blowdown. It gets blown back down into the aquifers or the rivers, or like what Ohio EPA is just right now allowing, they just dump it right back into the river. The water treatment facilities are not capable, they do not have the filtering media, and they are not capable of filtering those particular types of corrosives. And so that just makes its way down into our aquifers, and most of these communities are small towns and farming communities that have wells set on aquifers. So this water it's this gray sludge basically is not being cleaned, it's not being filtered, and it's being dumped right into our drinking water or it's being dumped into a water treatment facility center that cannot handle that kind of load.
That's crazy, man. They're contaminating the water now?
You're actually a product in the Crown Corporation. It says copyright, Crown copyright at the bottom of your birth certificate. It's a copyright. They own you. They own us. Imagine that. Imagine a living being giving birth to another living being, and then that living being signing a document, giving away, because the word register means to give up the rights of. That's what the word register means. Why would I give my children, my living, breathing, conscious, spiritual, intelligent being that I've co-created with my partner, why would I then give it to a Crown Corporation government? Government has insidiously invited themselves into every aspect of our life, and that's why it seems like we're in a spider web, we can't get out of it. Oh, if I give up my legal identity, then I can't achieve anything. Well, guess what? Totalitarian tiptoe has been creeping in since 1667.
There are two kinds of law on the earth. One is called civil law, which is the law of the land, and one is called maritime admiralty, which is called the law of water. The maritime admiralty is banking law, and the law on the maritime admiralty says that you, because you came out of your mother's water, are a maritime admiralty product. This is why the ship is sitting in its berth and is tied to the dock, and the captain has to give a certificate of manifest to the port authority, because money is changing hands. This is why when you were born, you have to have a birth certificate. It's got to be signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is tied to, is the dock. So the dock signs your birth certificate. Why? Because you came down out of your mother's water. You came down her birth canal. You are a maritime admiralty product, and therefore your birth certificate is signed by your mother. And where your mother signed on the birth certificate, get it, you will see it does not say parent or mother. It says informant. Your mother was informing the bank that she has just produced another product to be bought and sold.
Damn, what the hell?
Because you don't own your child. You signed them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. Sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. The word calendar comes from calends. Calends is the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. Calendar is an invention by Pope Gregory to remind people when to pay taxes. You are born into this copyrighted timeline, and this copyrighted timeline is on your birth certificate, which means you are owned by them. When you get a letter and your name is in full capital letters, that's your corporation, not you. You can't tax a physical body, but you can tax a corporation. You are the I am, and your consciousness is identifying itself with the corporation, which is attached to the system. Identifying yourself with the body and the name is keeping us attached to this system.
So basically they did that so they could tax us, bro.
Don't ever in your effing life use one of these to cook
Microwave,
your food. Let me explain. If you don't want to pay the ultimate price, never put your food in here.
Man stopped using that shit 10 years ago.
Here's the instruction manual. It clearly states in English, warning, users may experience heart disease, kidney failure, fluid in the lungs. That if you use this, you might be feeling faint, nausea, discomfort, headache, coughing, irritation of the mouth and throat, stomach, discomfort,
not even
chest, palpitations, and pain. Heartburn. That's basically what it says, alright? Problems with respiratory. So never in your life use one of these. Put your food in this to cook. I know we all grew up with them, but this is just the hard truth.
Bro, we grew up with them. We grew up with a lot of stuff that's unhealthy for us. A lot of our folks was lazy and just ignorant, bro. I don't care, bro. Like, you gotta think about this. A lot of us grew up in the hood. You telling me you couldn't figure out nothing for 10 years, 12 years? You telling me you had to feed me unhealthy stuff for 10 years consecutively, 15 years consecutively? You ain't do no research? I'm not saying my folks in particular, but I'm just saying, like, there's no excuse, bro. A lot of parents is lazy, bro. And a lot of households are lazy. A lot of people are lazy, bro. It takes, I understand we in the information that's put out there now more commonly, but the past 6 years, you should have been got rid of this, bro.
The government.
Tell me down below, secrets, man. Do you guys still use a microwave? I've been watching these clips, bro, updating what I know about the world. I don't use microwaves no more.
Tried to cover up the truth about Gerald, that the dolphin actually exists and did abduct that man. Meanwhile, footage emerged showing helicopters landing near the incident site, law enforcement personnel gathering, and numerous public officials getting involved in the investigation. Many people began to focus their attention on the so-called Gerald. In any case, officials are trying to stifle everyone's speculation. Some believe that the man was not chosen at random. According to his account, the one orchestrating all of this is a dolphin named Gerald. The fact that a person could persistently repeat the same story while in such an exhausted state actually made people feel it wasn't a joke. The public began to suspect that behind the claim of a dolphin kidnapping a man and forcing him to participate in some kind of underwater construction, there might indeed be some undisclosed details. Gerald is no longer just a mocking nickname, especially given statements like, "It is preparing for the second phase." To date, officials have yet to provide a clear and consistent explanation. Leave a comment below.
But the clone theory exploded on the internet in recent years. Look at the pattern. Selena Gomez disappeared, came back different. Jim Carrey spoke about illusion and power, then shifted. Avril Lavigne. The internet says she was replaced entirely. Kanye West after 2016. People say he wasn't the same. Different voice, different face, different energy. Same theory goes for all of them. They suddenly disappeared and came back as different persons. But why? Why would they replace their own celebrities? And what could have happened to the real ones?
I don't know.
So you telling me that this whole time there were benefits to showering or bathing in the dark? Literally, there are people in the world that does this, and for the first time ever, I have found my people thinking I was the only one who did this before bed. You motherfuckers. Cause bro, that's smart. That's sensory reduction. That's your body low key exhaling. It's not the water that feels different when the lights off. It's the dark. Don't try it. Try one dark shower tonight before you rest. No music, no phone, just you and that candle. And relax. And tell me your body don't feel different.
They're finally shutting down, y'all. And this might be the best news I've heard, bro. And you too, because who knows what these people were feeding us? Hundreds and hundreds of these big food chains are losing their power, and not because they want to, but it's because we're waking up. Listen to this, yo. Domino's is closing 200 of its locations worldwide, including 172 locations in Japan. Not to mention they have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so Domino's is going down. We know y'all were in the list. This guy over here, Papa John's, who look like he's changed over the time, over the years. Look at that. Am I mistaken, bro? But nonetheless, over 200 Papa John's are closing its doors worldwide. Pizza Hut is closing down 250 of its locations, and that's only the beginning of the year. So who knows how much they're closing down this year? Wendy's is expected to close 300 to 600 of its locations worldwide, bro. Something is going on with Wendy's. Ever since Dave left, it has never been the same. Apparently, Denny's has been closing down its locations ever since 2025, and there's about 300 more about to close its doors this year. Popeyes has also filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they're closing down 136 stores between Georgia and Florida, bro. And Arby's. And honestly, I don't even know how Arby's hasn't made the list yet. I never see anyone in the parking lot. Anyone that's trying to eat this is diabolical, bro. This thing must be a glitch in the Matrix. Because what most people don't realize is that all of these places, they're all connected. They're all interconnected. The same suppliers, the same system, it's the same pipeline feeding y'all the same crap. I mean, look at this. They're all feeding you the same thing. That's why it's the same food everywhere, the same fast food everywhere, bro. We cannot get away, and now it's finally shutting down. Do y'all notice that all these quote-unquote celebrities and public figures, they're withering away now, bro? And that's because we're not feeding the beast system no more, bro. The shit is here. I've been telling y'all. Like I said, all of this is taking place in early the beginning of the year, bro. There's a lot more to come. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I told y'all the shit is here. We're in the midst of it.
Saying facts about your eyes you never knew. Blue eyes are the result of a genetic mutation that occurred in Europe 10,000 years ago. The rarest eye color in the world is green. Only 2% of people have them. Your eyes can detect over 10 million different colors. You'll blink over 630 million times in your life. After all that blinking, no wonder why our eyes feel tired and irritated sometimes. That's why I've been using Theratears eye drops to keep my eyes hydrated after spending hours on my phone. The screen eye drops provide instant relief from dry eyes during the day caused by staring at screens for too long. And before bed, I use Theratears overnight eye drops to wake up with hydrated eyes that don't feel bad in the morning. Go to the link in my bio and give your eyes the break they deserve with Theratears eye drops.
Here are some kids who won Halloween. This little boy went as his grandpa, and that has to be the cutest thing I've ever seen. But it goes hand in hand with this little girl who went as her grandma. And this kid nailed his Russell costume from Up. This little girl and her dog totally won Halloween. Beauty and her Beast. And this kid went as the Stanley Cup. And here we have a little Beetlejuice. This kid went as a jet, and honestly, this costume is pretty cool. This little guy went as a toy soldier.
Oh yeah, he won.
And this kid as a gingerbread man is so iconic. Here we have the Squid Games girl. And this baby as Oscar the Grouch has made my entire day.
This is why you should always lock your doors as soon as you get home.
Black 30.
There's a guy outside.
The police was called and the man was left alone after his family explains he just has mental problems.
This man tried opening the door. Can you imagine what would have happened if that door was unlocked?
How rare is your body? Only 5% of people in the world can lick their elbow. Red hair is the rarest hair color in the world, and only about 2% of people have it. Next is the double row of eyelashes. Only about 1% of people have this, and it actually causes them to cry more. Only 5% of people have this extra hole near their ear, and it's actually proof that humans once had gills. And if you have 2 different colored eyes, you are super rare because only 0.1% of people have this.
How rare is your body, Seekers? I can do the elbow day. I'm pretty sure I don't have a hole next to my ear, so I don't have any power-ups.
The craziest torture methods ever. Part 29. The bastinado. Dating back to 1537 in Europe and 960 in China. Literally the act of beating the shit out of somebody's feet. Typically performed with canes or sticks. They made sure to avoid the bone structure of the ball and heel. They went straight for that soft tenderloin meat right in the middle. Fuck that.
A warning is now being issued for the rise of the XL Bully cats. And people are being urged not to buy them. The mutant breed is being created by breeders in the US by mixing the gene that causes hairlessness in Sphinx cats with the gene that is responsible for short legs in Munchkin cats. And now they are spreading to the UK after being bred to resemble the XL Bully dog, which as we all know was banned in the country last year. The reason animal experts are urging people not to buy them is because they suffer from a number of serious health issues. Their short legs make it harder for them to jump, put them at a disadvantage if attacked, and can lead to painful arthritis. They have no whiskers, which can cause problems with communication and navigation. Their lack of fur gives them limited ability to regulate their body temperature and can even get burnt when out in the sun. And experts even say that this breed is likely to have a life expectancy at least 6 years shorter than the average cat. They're urging all cat owners to put health over aesthetics and not to drive this experimental breed.
A lot of people messing with nature, man. You're crossing the line when you do that. I never got that notion, man, just trying to mess with nature. That's not the way it was intended to be. You can't just make up a cat species. Look at the result. That's an edit.
These 3 kids are pure evil. In 1966, in the southwestern town of Greenwich, Connecticut, there were 3 ill-tempered kids, Damien, Caleb, and Axel. The townspeople called them the Little Satans. From the age of 5, the Little Satans began to show a cruel side, frequently capturing small animals in the town's woods. The other kids in town were terrified and kept their distance. However, the parents of these 3 believed it was just harmless childhood mischief. Most townspeople chose to stay silent, fearing retaliation from these wealthy and influential families. But the Little Satans' behavior became increasingly brazen. One day, a few children from town went missing, and the last time anyone saw them, they were with the Little Satans. Yet, due to a lack of direct evidence, the local police were unable to launch a deeper investigation. One officer, Marcus Hayes, refused to give up. He kept investigating quietly, watching the 3 families day after day. Then, one night, all the Little Satans' parents gathered together, and Marcus sensed that something was wrong. He immediately called for backup, and they eventually discovered a hidden basement. Inside, they found the missing children from town. As Marcus dug deeper into the case, he uncovered something even more terrifying. Do you want to know what Marcus found? Comment Little Satans to watch part 2.
Scariest urban legends of each state, part 1. Slaughter Canyon in Arizona. A family lived down in the canyon in the 1800s. The husband would always go into the mountains and try and find food for his family. One day, the husband never came back. The family was starving. The wife went crazy and killed her children. To this day, you can still hear the wife crying for forgiveness around the area.
Slaughter Canyon.
While many people have a fear of flying, they should have a fear of driving. Statistically, if you lived through the drive to the airport, you've already survived the most dangerous part of your journey for the day until you get back into a car when you arrive at your destination. The chances of getting into a deadly plane crash on a large commercial airplane are around 1 in 13 million, but your chances of getting into a deadly car crash are around 1 in 100.
Crazy food facts you didn't
Fun
know.
fact, I never flew anywhere.
Dark chocolate can actually make you smarter. Bananas are classified as berries, but strawberries are not. Honey never expires. They found pots of honey in old ancient Egyptian tombs that are still edible. Carrots weren't originally orange, they were originally purple. If you have no time for breakfast and join the goal, Fuel 10K is the best food hack. I'm obsessed with their strawberry breakfast drink. It's tasty and a quick boost of energy. And if I get hungry when I'm working, their oat squares are the perfect snack to make me feel full.
Here are moments of regret that were caught on camera. This one guy thought it would be funny to fool around at his local water park by hiding in one of the slides until the park closed. However, he forgot the fact that when the park closes, someone comes by to lock up the exit to the slide. And this happened exactly where he was hiding, and he was locked up, and his imprisonment was caught on camera. Next, during a heavy flood in his local city, a man tried taking a risk and drove straight into a giant body of water. Not only did this damage his car, but also his dignity, because people nearby were recording and roasting him. Next, this Canadian TikToker was trying to make her cousin laugh, and she succeeded. But it ended with her having a harmonica stuck in her jaw. In the video, which she chose to upload, you can see her panicking and breathing through the instrument, sounding like Thomas the Tank Engine. And finally, this lady saw a punching bag at her local arcade and tried to take a swing at it, only for her aim to be so off that she ended up hitting herself. She then saw that she was being recorded by her friend, flipped him off, and then immediately slipped and fell. I think at this point you have to move countries.
3 ways to survive.
You took that L.
Number 1. If you see a boy holding a knife at the edge of the woods, don't go near him and run the opposite way. Jeff is extremely strong and fast. Once you get too close, it's already too late. Number 2. Don't ever go looking for Jeff. Looking for him is an extremely bad idea, being so that he's extremely sick and twisted, and he'll probably do things that you wouldn't like being done to you. So looking for him shouldn't be on your list. Number 3. Don't ever make waffles past midnight, being so that Jeff is extremely obsessed with them. He loves waffles, and once he gets that scent, he'll walk towards them, ending up in your kitchen with a knife. Like and follow for more videos.
No waffles after midnight. Noted. Who eats waffles after midnight? Well, people go to Waffle House, so. See, because have you guys ever been to a Waffle House? It's been a minute, man, but they have some good waffle. That's an edit, man. We call them mama. We call out the edits. Every time.
Scroll now or lose your innocence. So fun fact, you actually like the taste of meat, but don't have the hardware to do anything about it. At least not to anything that's still alive. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. So you're looking at a deer taste testing a cat. No, I'm just playing. It's salt. We take it for granted because we can put salt in anything, but wild animals, they gotta get it out the mud. No, like literally, they get creative, and sometimes creative means a mouthful of soil. Sometimes elephants will go into caves just to lick salt off the walls. Yeah, you heard me. Elephants be splunking. And if you're a moose, you might just lick the salt off a car. Probably not great for insurance, car, health, life. A salt-feeding branch tank will wreck all 3. And it might not be a cunning linguist, but best believe a deer will lick a cat clean. Butterflies taste with their feet, and they're attracted to the salt in our sweat. So a butterfly landing on you is taste testing your salt-seasoned skin, and that is no joke. They'll also go out of their way to irritate the eyes of other animals to force them to cry just so they can drink the tears. Yeah, it ain't sweet. Salt can kill you in more ways than high blood pressure. Amazon animals often use clay licks called gold buds to add a little salt into their lives, which can get cut brutally short since jaguars will stalk clay licks knowing someone's gonna get got eventually. And deer using salt licks can spread chronic wasting disease. And if you don't know, CWD is death with busy work. And then you got that time mountain goats got addicted to the salt in human urine. And when I say addicted, they had to give them the Aerovac. Those goats were craving that mineral at all costs. Moral of the story, I don't think there is one. I don't even remember how we got here, so something about cats?
Times when companies
Sad,
dissed
bro.
others, part 5.
In 2009, Domino's ran an advertisement saying that in a blind test, their sandwiches beat Subway's 2-1. Well, Subway then solved this and sent a letter to Domino's demanding that they pull their ads from air. Well, Domino's replied with this commercial.
Domino's oven-baked sandwiches beat the taste of Subway's 2-1. Then Subway's lawyers sent us this letter demanding we pull our commercials off the air. I was gonna burn the letter, but everything's better when it's oven-baked.
Next, in 2016, a Burger King in New York covered its entire building with white sheets and dressed up as the ghost of McDonald's, saying that McDonald's was the scariest Halloween costume they could wear. And they also recorded this ad where everybody was just screaming at the building. McDonald's response was, "Who wouldn't want to pretend to be us?"
Weirdest kids' toys ever, part 16. Now this product isn't actually a toy, but it was designed for kids. Wonder Woman safety scissors. These are 100% real and from the late 70s. What were they thinking? I mean, just look at that spread.
Who is the weakest horror movie character on this list? You have Leatherface, Michael Myers, Pennywise, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead, and Jason. Now, as we can all agree, Jason's getting knocked off the list already.
Yeah.
He's the strongest, as we all know. We're now left with Leatherface, Michael Myers, Pennywise, Freddy Krueger, and Pinhead. Leatherface is pretty strong, don't get me wrong, but if he went one-on-one with any of these characters besides Pennywise, I think he's getting clapped. I think him versus Pennywise would be an actually pretty good fight. Yes, Pennywise is a demon, and Leatherface is a cannibalistic human that runs around with a chainsaw. But still, I think it would be a good fight. Then on the other hand, if you have Pennywise fight any of these other characters, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead, and Jason, Pennywise is getting packed up. So I feel like it's only fair that Michael Myers gets off the list. Michael Myers is packing up all of these characters besides Jason, making him the second strongest. And then for shits and giggles, I'm taking Pinhead off as well, because Pinhead is extremely powerful. As soon as you open that cube, you're wraps. Those chains come out of nowhere, it is chalked for you. Then I'm taking off Freddy Krueger, because let's be honest, Leatherface versus Freddy Krueger, Leatherface getting packed up. Freddy Krueger versus Pennywise, Pennywise getting packed up. But now the two weakest, in my opinion, is Leatherface and Pennywise. And if those two fought it out, I really and truly think Leatherface is winning. No holds barred. Pennywise is a fraud. Ain't that scary and ain't that strong. Don't forget to like and follow for more. Comment down below what you think.
But you guys agree with that list? I think, like I said, Freddy Krueger, yeah, he's, I think, the one-on-one, bro. And that guys know I never check out scary movies, but I've heard of Freddy Krueger many times to know about that. Yeah, how scary that movie was. I said it.
Once again, when you talk about horror, you better speak on this bear. This is the boss. That's his name, no relation. He's a 700-pound walking boulder of a bear and an anime plot device that includes his body. The boss has been recorded catching, murking, and eating multiple black bears. In fact, one of the first times he was ever seen was next to an expired bear, and officials had to close down the trail until the boss was done eating it. At one point, the boss hit a train and was tragically put down. The train, I mean. Oh, you didn't hear me. I said the bear hit the train. Boss ate that like
what?
He even shows up to the same tracks just to eat the animals that weren't strong enough to survive what he walked off. As mentioned, Boss was roughly the size of 2 prime shacks. As a whole plus-size predator, he was and is the biggest bear in the area, and it's believed he fathered more than 70% of all the bears in the area code. Mind you, he's believed to be up to 27 years old. Hey, twins, when the average male grizzly bear lives to 25. Which means by the time getting jumped, this bear on a LeBron type of run. And you know a bear that survived a literal train barely second-guesses cars, and the boss regularly crosses high-speed highways. It's anime plot armor with predatory hardware. The boss even has his own antagonist. That would be this guy, Split Lip. They've been running fades for years, and they've been in the same area for 15, so this beef may have marinated for over a decade. But I don't think Boss has taken an L yet. Boss from Bam better put some respect on the OG original Grizzly.
Let's talk about a
Boss versus Split. Who we got?
The main character is not what he seems. Hypocrite. Fair warning, we are going to spoil the story here, or at least what I think the story is. If you'd rather check the game out yourself, I have a full playthrough of it on my channel. We play as a social media influencer named August, and his whole thing is that he helps kids when they're being harassed on the internet or in real life. A guy named Leon requests that you help him find his daughter who's been kidnapped, and while solving kidnappings isn't really your thing, you decide to accept. And then, the story takes a turn. We watch as our character opens up a secret passageway behind a bookshelf. What could he possibly be doing? When he's down there in that secret tunnel, we learn what he really is. Our character, August, is a monster. He does not actually help people. And Leon's daughter has actually been kidnapped in his basement this entire time. But when Leon finds out something is up, it's too late, and August takes them both out.
This Russian engineer has just spent the last 6 years in his garage creating a real-life Iron Man suit. And this is not some little fun gimmick. Bro has literally invented certain elements specifically for this suit, like hydrogen artificial muscles. You see those wires? They are connected to his muscles, so when he flexes, the suit moves with him. And it only gets crazier because he created a real plasma repulsor that creates such a quick hydrogen explosion that it can't even be captured on his camera. And just like the entire Iron Man suit is powered by Tony Stark's chest piece, RIP to a real one, so is this suit. He created the world's first fully functional personal hydrogen reactor that powers powers those plasma shots, the artificial muscles, and even this. Real hand burners that can reach temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Celsius. He made it by creating an electrolyzer that splits water into hydrogen and oxygen, which are then combined and ignited to produce the torch's flame. And the hardest part about this is creating a really powerful continuous torch, while also preventing it from blowing out, overheating, and just burning his hand off. So he casually solved this by designing a system with multiple nozzles and then added an inbuilt cooling system. Bro is literally Tony Stark at this point. Now he's currently working on the outer layer of this suit, which has taken him several months just to create the head and torso. Because he didn't just pick up the first material and get cracking. He has designed every element of this suit to fit his body perfectly, which is painstaking. He went from pencil sketches to creating an entire clay model. He then used high-resolution 3D scanning to create a precise digital copy. He 3D printed those parts separately, strength tested countless materials, and then reinforced those pieces with Kevlar and carbon fiber. He even wrote and played the music he uses in the background of his videos. And he also holds the Guinness World Record for the world's first retractable lightsaber. And after 6 years, he's getting close. The question is, which will be complete first? GTA 6 or a real-life Iron Man suit?
Real life Iron Man. I'm taking that all day, every day, bro. Man, we were like freaking pushing that boundaries, bro. Could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine the chaos, bro. Imagine Iron Man suits everywhere. That's just mind-blowing, man. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's the edit. Call them like we see it.
Fun fact, multiple people have been reporting that their robot vacuum cleaners are getting hacked, allowing hackers to gain full access to the machine's microphone, camera, and motion controls. One family's vacuum cleaner was hacked, and the hacker began shouting racist slurs through the microphone as they drove it around the house. All the hacked robot vacuum cleaners were Ecovacs D-Bot X2s, which ABC News Australia had already exposed to have massive security flaws. In another home, a hacked vacuum cleaner chased the family dog around the house while shouting at it through the microphone. But at least these people knew they'd been hacked. It's much scarier for those who didn't. As you can see from the ABC Australia news report, the Ecovacs D-Bot X2 has a very good camera, and you can clearly see a person's face or body.
You never know what could be your last moment. It's giants? That's how the pyramid was built. That's how the pyramids were built, the Great Pyramids. Interesting edit. It's setting it up right.
Michigan woman just became the oldest person to hike the Appalachian Trail. The ozone layer is healing faster than expected and could fully recover in our lifetimes. Helsinki has had 0 car crashes in the last 12 months. They've purposely been lowering speed limits and upgrading infrastructure for pedestrians and cyclists.
There is some evidence that time travel is real. Conspiracies surrounding the iconic pop star Michael Jackson have been circulating the internet for a long time, with many people claiming he faked his death. But no one talks about the strange artifacts in history that prove Michael Jackson was more than a singer. This is an Egyptian statue that was carved in 1550 BC that strangely resembles the pop figure that would come centuries later. And this is a painting created by Raphael in 1514 that was named Portrait of a Young Man. This painting also strangely resembles Michael Jackson, who didn't exist until his birth in 1958.
This piece of bread is proof they are not feeding us actual food anymore. Since when does bread do that?
Like a sponge.
Food is not food anymore.
Nope.
Like, do you know what azodine bicarbonamide
Never heard of
is?
it.
Well, it's an ingredient that's banned in Europe that's used to make foam plastics like yoga mats
What?
and shoe soles. Now, we put it in our bread because it makes the dough rise faster, which means more output per hour and more profit for the manufacturer. There's also another ingredient called diacetyl tartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides. It is a dough conditioner that strengthens the dough and keeps it soft for weeks, extending the shelf life, aka, once again, more profit. The downside is that
All about
it
that
leads
money.
to inflammation of the heart. Calcium propionate, a preservative. It prevents molding, which maybe a lot of us haven't seen in our food in a while, but it does happen naturally if you don't eat your food. It is linked to a bunch of developmental issues, motor and cognitive impairments, language delay, dementia, seizures, autism. In fact, here is a pretty long list of chemical ingredients that are commonly found in our store-bought bread here in America that's banned or restricted in other countries. So if you're feeling bloated, foggy, tired, inflamed, breaking out, or just off, you might want to check the bread.
And we wonder why there's so many problems in the world with people. Look at what we are being fed. Maybe there is something to the point that people have about, oh, back in the day, this is why. Not this piece of bread specifically, but all these chemicals in everything that they sell us now, essentially. I don't know. Am I tripping or what? What do y'all think? Stay weird.
You know that it's all about that dollar bill, man. He was saying stuff, bro. They said like you couldn't freaking pronounce, man. If you just, I guess now we need to be freaking looking at our bread, bro. Look at the back of what they putting in this bread, man. Like I said, they using it to make the dough last longer, to make it rise faster, all just for the profit line, man. That's crazy. Well, the fact that some of those ingredients were banned in other parts of the world, but they're not banned in the U.S. Has me scratching my head.
The Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland originally used human bones. Let's talk about it. In 1967, the Imagineers could not afford to create human bones, like fake ones, so they actually borrowed actual corpses from UCLA, and they put them in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Also, these photos are not actually of human bones. At least we don't think so. There are rumors that they're real, but I don't believe they are. TikTok, please do not ban me. But it's a big reason why people think the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is haunted, because hello, there's like a whole bunch of corpses apparently still there. I don't personally believe that these are real, but, you know, I wouldn't put anything past Disney. You know, they'll do anything to save a buck, and if they can just use stuff that they can get for free, why not? If this guy is real, they have him arching his back for all of eternity. That's gotta be painful. The people that are saying this, that there's actual bones still in there, they say that the absolute one that they think 100% is still real is the one that's above the captain's bed. So how are we feeling? Do you think that these are real bones of actual human beings or not? Comment down below and follow if you're into stuff like this.
Yeah, we might already be dead. Great. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Stop it, mate. People have been freaking out on social media over the last 2 or 3 days about the news headlines of this butterfly-shaped hole opening on the sun. This does not sound good at all. It really doesn't, but let me explain. First of all, this didn't actually happen only 2 days ago. This actually happened early in September, so people just have brought it up now for some reason. Now, it is essentially a coronal hole, so it's kind of scary because it's going to fire out solar storms and things at Earth. It's not dangerous to us, but it could cause power outages and other things to be happening on Earth. It is scary though when you think about how big it is. 35 times the size. That's insane. And obviously that could fire some pretty nasty things and solar wind towards Earth because it's coming in our direction. But as I say, don't worry, it's not dangerous to us, it just could cause outages and some stuff. You may remember last time though, when we had something like this, not this big, but we had it, we got the aurora which was visible all around Earth, so this could potentially happen again. So keep your eyes out, you're going to be fine, but as always I'll keep you updated.
Can someone explain to me what was captured hovering over the skies in Denver, Colorado? Tons of amateur videos, all capturing the same thing from different angles, are floating all over social media. But no one seems to have an explanation for what it is. If you haven't seen the viral videos, Take a look at this. Look at this. Right over there. Right above the house. Watch. They're spinning. What are those? Are those orbs? I paused it and screen grabbed it right about there. I couldn't enlarge it any better than that, but that looks to me like orbs. Are those orbs, or is that something else? Take a look at this video from another angle. They're not red, they're white.
Second night in a row. They're back.
And they're white this time. Watch when he zooms in. Look at that. What is going on in the sky?
I mean, this is pretty indisputable evidence.
Colorado. As of now, no state or local authorities or officials have come forward with any type of explanation as to what those things are that you've seen floating and hovering over the skies of Denver, Colorado. So if you're from the Denver, Colorado area and you captured any of that on photos or anything, please hop in the comments and share that with me. And my question to everyone else is, what do you think those things are? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Apple dropped a new product, and they want to see exactly how stupid you are. Apple just dropped some shit called the Apple Pocket. And of course, you see that Apple continue to play in your face. And let me tell you this shit is $130. A sock for $130 to put an Apple iPhone in. They literally made an iPhone purse for the iPhone. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, if you spend $130 for this shit, you deserve everything you're going to get when you buy this shit, because you're going to get something. Number two, if you plan on throwing this shit over your shoulder and walking down the street, remember this, somebody is going to take that iPhone from you. And to be honest with you, this got to be the worst shit that Apple ever dropped. You got the long ones paused for $230. You got the short ones for $1. What is this, man? And you know how I know people is going to buy this shit? Because everybody is talking about this shit right now. This is the test right here. This is the Are You Stupid test right here. Because are you stupid? You got to be, if you pay $130 for a long sock to put your phone in. I'm out.
Nurse. That has to be crazy, bro. Like you said, that's a test right there, man. I didn't even know the Apple was making a sock until I freaking came across that video, man. It was just too unbelievable. I had to add this to my account, bro. The Apple socking us $130, bro. Just to carry it around, man. And the fact that there's two different versions, this like you said, long one pause, and I guess there's a shorter one. That's actually crazy, bro. Whoever buys that, man, good luck to you, man. I have no words.
Was so lazy that he killed his patients to reduce his workload. Reports are coming out today that an unnamed 44-year-old German man has been sentenced to life in prison after killing 10 of his patients and attempting to murder at least 27 others. Prosecutors say that he targeted mainly his elderly patients by injecting them with lethal amounts of painkillers or sedatives to ease his workload during night shifts. Bro, killing because you can't be asked is wild. But what makes this even worse is that all of these offenses took place over a period of just 6 months. And it might not even end there, because authorities believe that he could be linked to even more victims prior to this time frame.
Jim Carrey is gone. He's gone, fool. Jim Carrey is gone. We are starting to see this more and more often when it comes to these Hollywood celebrities, where they're just not looking the same anymore. And no, I'm not talking about old age. I'm talking about the whole facial appearance gone, like changing. And most of them don't just be a little slight change. It be a major change, y'all. Look at Jim Carrey. This man look totally different. Am I tripping? Let me know down below in the comments if I'm tripping. But I know this man look totally different, fool. This whole little event, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, was weird in general. Y'all know who this girl is, right? This is this girl right here, all grown up, 25 years later. This is also the girl. Just take a look at what's going on in the picture, fool. This right here should just let you know that this whole little shit is weird, fool. I can't say too much, but y'all see what I'm trying to get at, right?
Shit weird, fool.
You guys heard of this radio station? It's like really old, called Coast to Coast. This guy, he always interviews the craziest of people. And there's one story, Average Joe calls in, he's like,
don't really tell people this story because he's like, I don't even know if I believe it.
But he's like, this is what happened to me. He has, this guy collects like motorcycles and stuff, and he has like 2 motorcycles in particular that he like loves. And he told his daughter, like, when I die, you can sell everything, but please keep these 2 motorcycles within the family. One of them was like some like Honda something from like 1970. Drove it to the coffee shop. He's getting a coffee. This guy comes in. He's like, hey, who has the Honda? And he's like, yeah, it's mine. He's like, no way. He's like, I have one just like that. They just started talking, and he's like, what other bikes do you have? He like mentioned the other one that he really loves. Like, no way, I have that bike as well. He's like, that's crazy. It was passed down from my grandpa. No way. And he's like, weird. He started to cry. He like, I'm sorry, can I hug you? And the guy's like, yeah, sure. And then the kid whispers in his ear. He says, in October, do not go to Alaska. The guy is just like, okay, all right. He's like, but I do travel to Alaska at least 6 times a year. And he's like, that's it. That's all I need to say. And he's like, it was really nice meeting you. And then he left. He's like, this is really weird. He's like, I don't know if it was the sun reflecting off of something or what, but he saw a flash and he couldn't find the kid. And so he's like kind of convinced that it was his grandson time traveling.
What in the world?
Yeah.
The dad and his son went missing just randomly for 11 days.
Detroit police confirmed that investigators saw no signs of the boy after searching the home 4 times.
They were on CNN live news, and this is the biggest plot twist. The reporter, she was like, Justin, we found your son.
Charlie, we're getting reports that your son has been found in your basement.
What? Wait, you know, like when men start to hush? Wait, you're not supposed to survive it. And then,
sir?
Oh shit.
No words?
Wait. No, he was still living downstairs. Like, yeah. Why did he do that though? I think he just like didn't like his son and he wanted to trap him downstairs.
Oh, God, they brought dogs, everything. Everybody is searched. What? Oh, God, my son. For anybody to imply that I somehow knew that my son was in the basement, it's absurd and it's wrong. I love my son. I'm glad that he's home. Man, I thought my son was dead, man. Look.
Don't be acting.
Oh, my God.
You don't know that either?
Oh, my God. Wow.
This is the
Nah, that had to be cap, bro. If your son was downstairs in the basement, how would you not have known? That's why people can't believe that, bro. It's too outlandish.
World's first AI-powered robotic vertical farm. It grows crops in 15 days using 95% less water than traditional farming. It's called AutoStore. Imagine a giant Rubik's Cube filled with plants. Dozens of autonomous robots move through this grid system 24/7, repositioning crops to get optimal light exposure and delivering precise amounts of water and nutrients to each plant. No soil, just hydroponics with complete water recycling. Everything is controlled by AI that monitors each plant and adjusts conditions in real time. The entire system is fully automated. No farmers, no weather dependency, no pesticides, just robots growing food in a climate-controlled environment that can fit inside a distribution center or even a retail store. Imagine walking into Costco or Walmart and the lettuce you're buying was grown in a vertical farm in the back of the store that morning. Maximum freshness, 0 transportation costs, and because it's completely climate independent, you can put these anywhere. Deserts, Arctic regions, urban centers, doesn't matter. They're even designing this for Mars colonization. In 10 years, they want robotic vertical farms growing food on Mars using the same closed-loop system. When farms become controlled robots inside warehouses that can operate on other planets, traditional agriculture starts looking like the past.
Just released the full video of Jack Doherty getting arrested, and he completely deserved it. So Jack Doherty goes up to these 6 or 7 police officers and decides to antagonize them. They are in downtown Miami, and the cops are just making sure that nobody is getting into trouble outside of the club. When you see right here, a car is coming on, and the police tell Jack to get out of the middle of the road because he's obstructing traffic. Jack brushes this off and tells his cameraman to come over to him, and this is where it gets more worse. Jack Doherty decides to challenge these police officers to a duel school, and all of the police officers are constantly giving him warnings to get out of the middle of the road. Now this is where things get even more worser for Jack. They have had enough. They keep telling Jack just to go back to the sidewalk on the other side of the street.
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you again. Go to Zella.
But it's Jack, Jack's security guard, and Jack's cameraman just bothering these police officers. Even Jack's cameraman says, like, bro, let's just get out of the street. Police officers have decided that they have had enough of this dude. So Jack initiated this, and he got arrested on 3 separate counts, 2 for possession, 1 for resisting an officer. And what's even more sadder is that Jack probably wanted to get arrested. For all of that, did Jack Doherty deserve to be thrown in jail?
What do you guys think, man? I seen people on the internet being crazy, but that's actually insane, bro. The Warners are giving him the chance. The officers, were giving him the chance to go back onto the sidewalk, and I guess he just refused.
Present for me in this box, and I feel nervous and excited.
Oh, so this is the human brain with the spinal cord. Such a masterpiece. But what people don't know is that we have 4 different structured parts of our brain that automatically shape how we think, feel, and behave. But what if it's not unconscious? What if we could pick and choose when how we want to be in any moment on purpose? Like we can manifest our own mental health.
And by the end of this conversation today, you're going to teach me how to do that.
Absolutely. You're going to so get it. But we have a problem. We are skewed as a society to the 2 parts of the left brain, which focuses on me, the individual. How do I fit myself into a society? And trauma is living in there, as is cravings and addiction. And we need this. It protects us. But we get in trouble when this is the only portion of our brain that we value. Because look at the world we currently live in.
So is there a strategy for making sure that you don't act upon it?
Well, so many people are trying to get rid of their emotional reactivity, but the way to heal it is not to get rid of it. We're wired for this. Why do I want to just put myself in a little box and say, I don't want to have pain, I don't want to be mad, I want to be a robot. I don't want to be a robot. I want to be a whole human with a whole brain. Like, this is life. And it lasts this long and then it's gone. And it took me losing the left side of my brain for 8 years to realize just how precious this thing is.
So how do I control and protect my brain at all costs?
Well, there's a lot. So you ready? I want some hot stuff.
So, you know those Walmart brands like Great Value and then the regular brands, right? Here's a theory that might shock you. So, they have Cool Whip, then just the normal whipped cream. I bet you didn't know it's all made by the same company. Great Value gets it made cheaper without the branding. The same goes for canned vegetables. The big name brand is Green Giant, and the Great Value ones are also made by Green Giant. It's the same with cereal. There's this store called Aldi, known for having the best products that match up to the big name brands. Aldi has a brand called Millville, and their cereals are replicas of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cookie Crisps, and Rice Krispies. They look so similar because Millville is the same thing as General Mills. It's the exact same cereal. They even taste the same. So, you're basically getting the same stuff for less money.
That is insane. Y'all, this flood that just took place in Mexico for the past couple of days is a lot more severe than the media is leading up. Matter of fact, the media is not even speaking up about this. I feel like this is another Hurricane Helene incident. Remember the incident that happened with Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina? This is literally another. Look at this, y'all. It's another incident. And once again, the media is silent. Do you guys know it's been 12,600 people that are unalived in this situation, and 32,000 people are missing? I bet you guys didn't know that. You guys didn't hear about that. Look at the destruction that this flood has caused all over Mexico. This is my goodness. And the crazy thing about it is, there's a lot of destruction happening all over the planet, and the media is silent. The infrastructure of Mexico is completely ruined.
12,600 dead so far. 32,400 missing in Mexico. The storms, the hurricane, the flooding, a lot of displaced families, a lot of people missing, 32,400, and confirmed deaths, 12,600.
There's a lot of cataclysms that's taking place around the planet that the media is completely silent on. It first started with Asheville, North Carolina,
And it's a continuing thing. It's an ongoing thing. They're not speaking up about a lot of these things, but yet they want to talk about no King's Day and the government shutdown and all that. What about these lives lost? 12,000 people, yo? And the fact of the matter is, they still haven't confirmed how many people were confirmed dead in the North Carolina Asheville incident. I believe this is a new norm, y'all. I truly believe this is a new norm. I've been telling y'all the shit is here, man. This is crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Let's continue.
Real Disney Ghost Stories, sent in by you guys. Part 1. These Disneyland cast members wish to remain anonymous, but here are some stories about the little girl who haunts California Adventure. When I worked in Disney California Adventure, we would sometimes see a little girl and she would show up in the bakery tour alone. And usually by the time we figured out she was alone, she's gone. We asked another cast in the bakery and they said she comes by every now and then and wanders all the way to Little Mermaid. Before Disney California Adventure was built, it was a parking lot and she was hit by a tram. And since then, her ghost has haunted the area. It's funny because there's a pattern here. Another cast member wrote to me about this little girl as well in Disney California Adventure. First of all, he says that every land has some sort of ghost. Like every little land in Disneyland has something that haunts it, which is crazy. The ghost I experienced the most and will stay with me is the little girl in the Little Mermaid building. She also likes to walk around on the Grizzly Peak side. She even pulled my keys out of my pocket because I wouldn't respond to her while I was cleaning a restroom and she was pounding a stall door. What? That is so scary. Here's another ghost story about the same girl. Apparently her name is Jennifer. I work at the restaurant on Buena Vista Street in California Adventure. Jennifer is very well known by cast members. She likes to lock the women's restroom doors. She turns candlesticks on the walls upstairs. I've heard a faint scream in the hallway on the 2nd floor. She's pulled my hair a couple times, and she has shown herself to our custodial at 3 a.m. Have you ever had an encounter with this little girl spirit at Disney California Adventure? Let me know in the comments, and keep sending me more Disney ghost stories.
Believe that? That's fact or cap? Those stories,
Have you
man.
heard that this man who was missing since 2021 was just found alive? On the 2nd of October 2021, 26-year-old Harley McCourt vanished from his home in Arkansas. For 2 agonizing years, his family have scoured the country trying to find him, but have had no luck. 18 months later, however, he's now been found. He was located on a beach in Texas, miles away from his Arkansas home. Harley was last seen in his bedroom by his dad on the morning of the 2nd of October. When his dad couldn't find him a couple of hours later, he reported him missing. He'd been severely depressed and distant for the months prior to him going missing. He also had social anxiety, so it was very odd of him to leave his home. His phone, medication and other belongings were all still at home, and all searches led to dead ends. Then in a dramatic turn of events, almost 2 years after he disappeared, Harley was discovered. Police in Texas stopped a man for walking against the traffic. Using information they found in his backpack, they identified him and notified his family. His mum and sister raced to see him when he was found, and as soon as they were reunited, they all embraced. His disappearance is still under investigation, and Harley states that his memory of what happened is fuzzy. He's been receiving mental health treatment in a hospital and is making progress.
Do you guys even imagine that, man? Like, you looking for your family member for like 2 years, he just drops off the grid, just disappears. You think the worst happens, and you miraculously found him. And it's a small detail just because he was against the traffic, man. Like, imagine if that never would have happened, they might have never found him again. It's like those little details, man, that something can happen in the universe you just can't explain. Some things are meant to be. You can't remember what happened, the fuzzy details. That's what I'm focusing on.
This woman murdered her husband to get YouTube subscribers. Samantha Walford met her partner Ernie at a tattoo parlor, and the pair quickly began dating. Samantha was already a mother of 2 and had twins from a failed high school relationship. Ernie took on a father role for these twins, and 3 years later the pair had another set of twins. Shortly after they had another child, making them a family of 7. Ernie was working a lot to provide for the family, and Samantha was trying to make it on YouTube. Her attempt at a YouTube career was putting a strain on the relationship, and she was neglecting her children. The pair reportedly began arguing a lot. On the 20th of February 2015, police were called to their home. Samantha claimed that 3 men had broken in and kidnapped her husband. However, inconsistencies started appearing in her story. During an interrogation, she claimed that she couldn't call 911 because she was tied up. She did, however, manage to call her mum. Police asked, "How did you dial your mother with your face?" She eventually admitted to knowing the kidnappers but said she had nothing to do with this. Investigators ended up uncovering texts between Samantha and the kidnappers. Samantha had actually orchestrated the whole thing. She had intentionally left the front door open to enable the kidnappers to get in the house. They then took Ernie to the woods and shot him in the head. Police concluded that Samantha did this to get fame and attention. 2 of the men got 50-year sentences, 1 got 93 years, and Samantha got 99 years.
Got the opposite result. Be careful. That's me edit, right?
So a lot of people know the movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Most people know him as like he's this slasher with a chainsaw that he like wears people's faces, and you know, that's like his family is helping him like commit all these murders, and they're trying to keep it hush because he's crazy, and it's like, oh, he's just our sweet little boy, he's just not all the way there. And that's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what most people know him as, right? But what most people don't know is that it is actually based off of a real story. So there's this guy named Ed Gein, right? Ed Gein was born in Wisconsin, and he grew up and he was super isolated, like always by himself. People described him as like a weird dude. Like he was very, always like by himself, like never really in a crowd or had any friends. He was always like a recluse. Ed Gein started grave robbing and like digging up dead bodies, and he would use their skin for like stuff around the house. He'd use their bones as like utensils, and he has been confirmed to have killed at least 2 people, but they think it's upwards of 10. But yeah, so he was arrested, and the scariest part about it though is that he
they can finish it. Chainsaw Massacre?
Now that I've seen it,
True
I
story?
can't unsee it. So the other day, a Reddit user posted this photo to Reddit. It's of his apartment at night. He had been complaining of hearing rustling noises in his apartment over the last couple nights. Many users thought they could kind of see something in this area of his kitchen, but I couldn't, so I looked at the brightened version. This is the photo brightened. And I know what you're gonna say, yes, it does look like Keanu Reeves, but look at how tall he is compared to the fridge. But it gets so much worse. This is a video he took of his apartment at night where you can see something happen to the light in the kitchen. But let's look at the brightened version.
See movement there.
Yes, it's terrifying, but is it a ghost?
Is it a ghost? Fact or cap? I doesn't know what to do.
Can't fucking open the damn door.
Where's she running from? See a car going back and forth. Somebody was chasing her? She made it home, thankfully. I don't know what would have happened.
Horror movies 99% of you can't finish, part 1. Up first is the Poughkeepsie tapes. The Poughkeepsie tapes is about a serial killer in Poughkeepsie, New York. And he records tapes of torturing and killing his victims. And in this movie, we are shown those tapes, intertwined with interviews with police officers, family members of victims, and even a victim herself to get a perspective of the killer and his crimes. Most of the footage in this movie is downright creepy and disturbing, and most people can't handle it. The footage also includes the murder of a young child and the torture of several victims. So let me know if you can finish this movie, because 99% of people can't.
Okay, I gotta finish the Poughkeepsie tapes. I'm not even gonna try. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. If you guys stay with me to the end, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate that, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that post notification bell as you guys can see my reaction style, man. I changed the order for you guys. You guys said it's better. I'm cutting down on me pausing and talking all the time because you guys just want the video to play through and I save it for after. So tell me how you guys doing. You guys enjoying the changes? Like I said, man, mine coming soon. You guys gonna catch it in the next one, man. Guys, we've been being daily every single day of April, man. So guys, hopefully you guys appreciate the effort I'm putting in, man. May coming up, gonna go even stronger, gonna go even harder. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.